voice of the fan.
Welcome to some Sunday baseball here at the Big A, where the Halos go for the series win against the Mariners and their 5th win on this 6-game homestand. Yeah, here's what's on tap over the next 30 minutes on a very big show coming at you from inside the Big A. Griffin Canning back on the hill, and he has been one of the hottest pitchers for the Halos over the last few weeks. Good news for Ben Joyce. Erica Weston will have a live report, and Shohei Otani, a home run sweep, will explain as the fans are out and the sun is coming out, and here come the smiles. Ken French, that is Bobby Valentine, Tim Salmon with us. All right, gents, you got to take care of business, right? What's in front of you is the Mariners, a series win. What's ahead of you is a 4-game series against one of the best teams in baseball. Tim, you got to stay focused. You can't look ahead.
Well, you have to stay focused, especially because the Seattle Mariners offense was asleep for the last 2 weeks, or actually the whole season at this point. But last night they woke up in a big way. Griffin Canning needs to go out there and have a great outing. Get this team back on the right track, win another series before you go into Texas.
Big momentum boost if they can get a W here and finish with 5 out of 6 at home.
Well, if we looked at anything, Griffin Canning has been the guy who's improved the entire year. Hopefully he'll continue to improve and get a W today.
That is a tremendous segue, Bobby Valentine, because right now we're going to talk about Griffin Canning, and this is a guy that missed last year because of a stress fracture in his back. He was delayed out of spring training with a groin injury, but Tim, somehow, some way, he has found his groove. The last 3 starts, 2-0, ERA under 2.
You know, I think the most amazing part of where Griffin Canning is the fact that he missed so much time and he's able to come out there and throw all of his arsenal, all of his pitches for strikes. He really does a great job of commanding the zone, filling up that zone with all 4 of his pitches, that fastball, the slider, the curveball, and the changeup, and he uses them really effectively to this point. And I think a lot of it stems from the fact that he throws that fastball. He's got a fastball he can get up to 97 miles an hour. He uses it effectively up in on the hitters, and it just makes those hitters respect that fastball enough that it keeps them off that curveball and that slider to righties, which he's done a great job throwing recently, and then he uses that changeup and that slider more to the lefties.
And sometimes it's just repetition, right? Bobby V needs to get out there, get his reps in, because missing a whole year is tough.
Well, indeed it is. And you see this arsenal, and you see those are the pitches he throws, and obviously you'll see now, why doesn't he throw the curveball more? 37% whiff rate. Yeah, well, he did. Last game, he actually did break out the curveball more. These are, statistics from 4 games prior, but he understands what he needs to do to get the hitter out. He's a great competitor. He sees the swing. He gets into the competition, and that's what his strength is.
You know, Bobby, you look at that arsenal right there, and this is the thing that I love watching him, is the way he throws that fastball up and in on hitters. He uses it effectively. He's not throwing it down there, right down the middle for a strike. He's making hitters move their feet, or at least get that little flinch up, and I think that's what makes those other off-speed pitches so well, and he can command them for strikes. He's not leaving them out over the middle of the plate for the most part. He throws the slider down and away, but again, that curveball, boy, that curveball, when a guy's throwing you fastballs up and in, when you see that curveball come out of the hand, you flinch for a second, and I think that's a lot of it is because of that fastball command.
Yeah, and if anyone uses the sequencing approach to pitching on our staff, it's him. As he throws that high fastball, he will throw the curveball off it. Then he'll throw the low fastball, and then he'll throw the slider off of it. So he gets what the hitter's looking at and tries to deceive him on every pitch.
Yeah, Griffin Canning, maybe not intimidating when it comes to stature, but he can crank it up 96, 97 when he wants to, and certainly the variance in with his curveball, that can certainly keep you off balance. He's hoping to do more of that here today. 18 Ks, by the way, over his last 3 starts. All right, well, on Friday night, the big news was Ben Joyce. Of course, the hurler coming out of Double-A. He was cranking it up, 103, certainly turning heads across Major League Baseball, but he would leave the game after just 8 pitches. He had tingling in his forearm, in his fingers. He would undergo an MRI. We were updating you throughout the course of the game yesterday, but we do have some good news. And speaking of good news, we have our anchor of the Good News Network who's standing by right now, Erica Weston. Erica, I see you over there. Give me some good news on Ben Joyce.
Yeah, Frenchie, really good news on this Sunday Fun Day. I'm really happy to deliver some good news. Of course, everybody was anxiously awaiting the results of that MRI during the game last night on Ben Joyce, and we found out from Phil Nevin after the game that everything came back okay as far as the ligament. The ligament is intact. He called it the best news possible. Pretty much all of us in that press conference room took a big sigh of relief hearing the good news. So the diagnosis was that ulnar neuritis, which basically is just some nerve irritation in that elbow, basically like hitting your funny bone. That's the best way to describe it. But certainly good news for Ben Joyce, because he already had Tommy John back in October of 2020, so he didn't get any sleep the night he was waiting for those results of the MRI. We spoke to him after the game in the clubhouse last night. I asked him just about how the last 24 hours were going for him after awaiting the results of that MRI.
It was scary. I mean, anytime you get pulled out of the game, it's not a good feeling, and the thoughts going through your head. I've had Tommy John before, so I mean, it was a thought in my head. But hearing the news, it was good news, and I mean, it was a relief for sure.
What's the arm feeling like right now? I know there was tingling in the hand and the forearm last night. What's it feel like right now?
Yeah, just kind of the same thing. Just trying to get the inflammation down right now.
Do you know what the process is for you in terms of actually getting back on the field?
No, I don't know. It's too early right now.
Is it a matter of just like when you feel better, or when you, or what do you have any idea like what you have to do?
I don't really have an idea. I mean, just kind of found out just now, so we'll work through that, I guess.
So we have a little bit more of an idea as of this morning. He is still dealing with a little bit of soreness, so they'll work through that, get that soreness out, and then once he feels good, he will start to throw. So he is expected to go on the road trip with the Angels to Texas and to Kansas City, as is Matt Moore. One more piece of good news for you, Frenchie. He started throwing on the field yesterday, playing catch. Today, he told me he got up to 60 feet. So both of them are going with the Halos on this upcoming road trip as they slowly start to ramp up and get back to being back out there in the bullpen. So good news for both of them, but especially with Ben Joyce. Ligament is intact. That's the most important thing, guys.
Good news, Erica. Thank you so much on a Sunday Fun Day. We truly appreciate it. Look forward to hearing you throughout the course of the broadcast today. And Bobby, when you look at Ben Joyce, why is he so important to this bullpen, considering the different talents he can bring?
Well, the unknown factor is always something great you want coming out of the bullpen. He's throwing 100, but no one has a track record on him, so that lets that hitter be a little wary of where that ball might be going. And you know, the crazy thing about those Tommy John surgeries, it depends on where you shop for it, you know? Some of them come with a 10-year warranty before you need to replace it again, so hopefully Ben has that one.
You know, I was talking to Matty Wise about this. Matty Wise, the pitching coach, has had Tommy John himself, and you know, you could see him, Joycey right there, you know, flexing his hand a little bit, and you know, for the most part, they move that ulnar nerve after the surgery, and sometimes fascia, which is, you know, can develop around it, maybe a little like scar tissue, and you just never know that it might over time, you know, get a little tighter around it. But that one pitch, I was asking Matty, I said, do you think it was that one errant pitch that he threw to the backstop? You know, maybe trying to get a little bit more, you snap it off harder. You know, who knows? Maybe that was it. But the curious thing was he still threw, I think, a couple more pitches at over 100 after that. So to me, that would, you know, looking back on it, maybe that was a good sign that he was able to still throw with the same velocity, that there wasn't going to be a ligament damage there.
Yeah, and the philosophy of the bullpen certainly has been throwing hard, obviously with a lot of velocity. But Jimmy Herget was recalled from AAA today to play the spot of Ben Joyce. So we'll see how he can fit in and change the dynamic of that bullpen here over the next week or so. Moving to Shohei Otani. What's a pregame show or a postgame show or a game without talking about Shohei Otani, and rightfully so. Not necessarily pitching, but we're going to talk hitting for a second. Back-to-back games with long home runs. Boy, has he been on fire. 7-game hit streak. You know what, you know, Bobby, when you look at Shohei right now, when he is dialed in, what do you notice the most in his swing?
Well, the efficiency of it, that he gets firm very quickly on the front side. side, and it seems like it's an effortless swing. He stands up straight. He generates all of that energy coming up, and you can't even see what's happening. Even in slow motion there, it looks like it's going quickly. He's very efficient, very good on everything except for the changeup away, and he hit 2 changeups for hits last night.
You know, I like to see the lower half being quiet. I mean, when he's swinging well, it just seems like he gets that toe out there early. I mean, almost before the pitcher's even released it. His hands have time to gather and load at the top. It just looks very effortless. So I equate it when he's looking quiet, he tends to swing better. When he gets rushed, maybe when he's not seeing the ball well, that's when you see him start flailing. The hips go, the butt goes, you know, their arms go, but we're not seeing that right now, fortunately, for the Angels.
375, 5 homers, 10 RBI in his last 10 games. He mentioned starting to feel a little bit fatigued when he's pitching, but that's certainly not affecting him when he is at the plate. We'll see if he can have a sweep in home runs against these Mariners. We're going to take another timeout. When we do come back, Patrick Sandoval will look back on his loss, and the rubber match for the Mariners coming at you next.
Don't freak out, but you can get 50% off all menu price Domino's.
Got something to say about the game?
I want to hear that.
Don't just talk about it.
Get caught up so we can talk about it on the show.
Intentional talk about it.
I think this is when opportunity arises.
Join the conversation with Intentional Talk on MLB Network.
We're watching.
MLB Big Inning brings you the biggest plays of the night, live as they happen. Don't miss the ultimate baseball highlight reel. It's nonstop action on MLB Big Inning every night on MLB.tv.
I'ma do work, that's on me. I'm a young boy, but I keep it on you. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. I'ma do work, that's on me. I'm a young boy, but I keep it on you. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. Don't want that stuff, but that's on me. Built the house, I got the keys. They say you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Hi, I'm J.P. Crawford, shortstop with the Seattle Mariners.
J.P. Crawford flexes his muscles.
I love my experience competing in the pitch, hit, and run when I was a kid. It helped me believe in my skills as a player.
The 1-2 on the way to J.P. And the Mariners win it!
Go show yourself what you're made of and make your way to the national finals at the World Series. Sign up for a free competition near you at pitchhitandrun.com.
Reaction. I saw off my player's reaction. I don't really see Shohei show that much emotion there. So, and really that part was over with. Our dugout was chirping quite a bit, and I was done. I mean, I was pointing to put the pitcher in, and he looked over and thought he saw something. It's fine. I mean, I understand that part. I'll take those. I don't want any of my coaches or players getting thrown out. So, I mean, I'll take that. And then, you know, once you go, we had a good talk.
Certainly had a good talk, and this is why the talk happened. Bottom 5, down 5-2, 2 men on, 2 out, 3-2 to Shohei Otani. That was called a third strike. Why was that a crucial situation? It would have been bases loaded, 2 out with Mike Trout coming up. You never see Shohei Otani react that way. Phil Nevin in the dugout. He was upset, but you know what? Phil Cousy, he thought he heard something. Phil's like, wait a second. The dugout was chirping, and Tim, as he mentioned, once he got tossed, he decided to go out there and have a bigger conversation.
Well, he definitely got his money worth right there. And, you know, when your stars are out there in crucial situations, I always say it's the right guy in the right situation, and you hate to leave it in the hands of an umpire when a hitter's up there battling, you know, a tough lefty on lefty situation. He takes a close pitch, but he is confident it was off the plate, and it was off the plate. And, again, you know, you're passing the baton on, you know, to Trout. That was a big part of the game right there. I can understand why, first of all, everybody was chirping from the dugout for good reason, but you know, for Nevin to go out there and get his money worth, he did a good job.
Yeah, it was June 10th, you know.
We just all looked at you. So what?
June 10th, dude. Yeah. Mustache, glasses coming back about 25 years ago. It was on June 10th. It just happened. Umpires, managers don't do it well on June 10th. That's it. That's all.
Enough said. Enough said. Hey, let's roll on to Patrick Sandoval. This is a guy that we are waiting. We saw at the beginning of the year, his first 6 starts, about 2.5 ERA, but he has struggled out in his last 5. The latest being last night, giving up a season-high 10 hits over 5 innings. It was a rough one, and afterwards, Erica spoke with him.
Sandy, how frustrating is an outing like this when you get a bunch of strikeouts, the changeup looks really good, but the results are a lot of runs on soft contact?
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks to stop the momentum that we had going, and just got to make some more adjustments, be better in game with making adjustments on the pitches, and give us a chance to win.
You've had good moments in each of your outings. Some of them don't result in the results that you want. Do you feel like you're close to putting it all together, or are you still like piecemealing it?
No, yeah, definitely. The Houston outing felt really good about my stuff today. Felt good about my stuff. Just needed, to kind of make an adjustment with how I was attacking guys throughout the game, and that's something I need to take more control of, and take control of my career with that.
When you say that, just the attacking, is that just pitch location, like where some of those pitches were?
Definitely the one to Rodriguez is not where I want to throw a changeup with 2 strikes right down the middle. But no, I think I might have just, got a little heavy with some pitches and some counts, and to some hitters, too many looks, and just not the quality that I was looking for. And, just need to make better adjustments.
Are you encouraged that the velo of the last 2 outings has been up a tick a little bit?
Yeah, I feel great. My stuff feels good, and like I said, no walks, 8 strikeouts. If you tell me I'm going to get that in a game, usually it's good results, but just tough luck today.
Yeah, you can sense the frustration right there. As he mentioned, 8 strikeouts, 7 of them coming off the changeup. But Tim, he had 2 rough innings, giving up 5 runs over the 3rd and 4th, where he threw 57 pitches.
Well, when you consider, you look back at all the hits, only 2 of them were hit hard. That slider by France and the home run, but he gave up a handful of bloops, a couple dribblers, and one that flared inside the line. That's a frustrating outing for sure, because you're making good pitches for the most part. Last night, it just a couple got away from you. He's right. If it's an emotional thing, whatever it is, you got to just figure out, hey, I got to pull myself up by the bootstraps and go out there and keep pitching. And I thought he did a decent job getting through the 5 innings. Gave up the 5 runs, but at the end of the day, the biggest thing is, what can you take from it? Hey, the majority of his pitches were working. There were some very good quality pitches made at times, but again, a couple of those mistakes to the wrong guys is what hurt him last night.
Advice you'd give to Patrick Sandoval right now?
I think he's got to understand the 15 and 20-second clock. I think he's one of these guys who has the pitches, and they're quality pitches, just at times he's not quite ready to deliver them. He needs to get that 20-second in his mind to make the checklist, do everything he needs to do to make every pitch the best pitch he can throw.
All right, we're going to take a timeout on the program, but when you talk about being perfect, all pitchers hope someday they can be perfect. Mike Witt was perfect September 30th, 1984. We're going to look back on a Halo history lesson from Mark Gubazov.
Hi, I'm J.P. Crawford, shortstop with the Seattle Mariners.
J.P. Crawford flexes his muscles.
I love my experience competing in the pitch, hit, and run when I was a kid. It helped me believe in my skills as a player.
The 1-2 on the way to J.P. And the Mariners win it!
Go show yourself what you're made of and make your way to the national finals at the World Series. Sign up for a free competition near you at pitchhitandrun.com.
Keep up with every team on MLB Network wherever you go. Just download the MLB app, click MLB Network, and sign in with your TV provider info. Then watch MLB Network all day, every day, your way.
It was a football stadium. The Rams played here. Well, they beat the Giants 33-12. They had 3 safeties, and Eric Dickerson, he was the man. 120 yards on that day on his way to a brand new NFL rushing record. Well, also on that day in Arlington, Texas, Mike Witt was perfect. Here is our historian, Mark Gubiza, and another Halo history lesson.
Angels fans, do you remember the Angels' first perfect game? Let's go back in time right now. This is Gooby's Halo history lesson. Let's set the stage. It's September 30th, 1984, last game of the season. Partly cloudy, 66 degrees in Arlington Stadium. And a magical moment was just about to happen at the ballpark. Our 6'7", 24-year-old lean and crafty righty takes the mound by the name of Mike Witt. Witt took the ball and had a special performance that was only achieved by 10 other pitchers in the history of the game. A perfect game, a perfecto. Mike Witt and Bob Boone locked in early. Greg Koss was the home plate umpire with the best seat in the house. Koss had just witnessed another perfect game by Len Barkers 3 years earlier from his post at first base. Across the diamond was Charlie Huff, the knuckleballer, matching Witt until the 7th inning, when Reggie Jackson's fielder's choice played at Doug DeCentes for the only run of the game. Witt pitched 27 consecutive outs by getting 13 ground balls, 4 fly balls, and 10 Ks to finish off the Rangers with 94 pitches.
Mike Witt pitches a perfect game.
If you don't know now, now you do. It's Gooby's Halo history lesson.
Now that is the way you want to finish a season right there. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Hey, do you think the guys had their bags packed? And you think the cars are running in the back? I know what those last games are like, but let me tell you something. That takes nothing away from Mike Witt. This guy was phenomenal. I caught him at the end of his career when his curveball was still phenomenal, but his fastball maybe wasn't what it was supposed to be, but he had a huge curveball. He was a guy you did not want to see on the mound, and obviously we all know what he did in '86 in the playoffs here, and everybody'd like to think, the fans that remember that, if he would have just stayed in that game, if Mock wouldn't have removed him, it might be a different story for this organization.
There's a lot of ifs out there, but one if is not there, and that was Mike Witt was a very good pitcher. And a matter of fact, you know, they say that the team kind of quit in Texas. They stopped playing for the previous manager, and they got no hit on the last day of the season. So they fired the manager next year, and I got hired. How about that? Thanks, Mike Witt.
Thank you, Mike Witt. Oh, by the way, April 1990, it was Langer and Witt with a combined no-no. Witt coming out of the bullpen.
That's right. He did it twice. Yeah, I got to face Mike Witt in Yankee Stadium. It's a longer story than I need to, but he had me struck out 3 times. I was going over my 4th at bat, just praying to make contact, and I hit a little dribbler down the line. And it's the first time in my career I was begging for it to stay fair, just so I didn't have to that 4th strikeout.
All right, let's take one more time out here on the program. When we do come back, we'll give you lineups. We'll show you the lineup that Phil Neville's going to put out there to back up Griffin Canning, who has been lights out over his last 3, trying to get the Halos a W and a series win before heading to Arlington.
Keep up with every team on MLB Network wherever you go. Just download the MLB app, click MLB Network, and sign in with your TV provider info. Then watch MLB Network all day, every day, your way. Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
It's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
redeem a free medium fries with a $1 minimum purchase at participating SoCal McDonald's. Download and register on the McDonald's app. Pour them out on a tray and share with your friends. Fries bring smiles. Hopefully this lineup will bring smiles to Angels fans here this afternoon at the Big A. Take a look at Shohei Otani batting second. At third base, you got Luis Rengifo, Anthony Rendon getting the day off. Zach Neto, of course, will clean things up at the shortstop position, batting ninth. Bobby V, when you look at this lineup, what do you like about the order you see there?
Well, once again, the balance of the lineup. You know, if Jared Walsh could start swinging it the way he can, and Taylor Ward starts swinging it the way he can, even though he's been kind of hot, I mean, this is just a very well-balanced lineup.
Yeah, very well-balanced. And today they're going up against Logan Gilbert, who in the month of June, the opponent's batting average is a mere 130 with a .071 whip. This guy's throwing strikes. He's pitching much better of late. Good hard fastball, tight slider, big 12-6 curveball. You know, the good news for the Angels, make contact. It's a day game in Anaheim, and the ball usually carries.
Amen to that. And, you know, he's coming off an 11 strikeout game last time out. But last year, he had the most line drives hit of anybody with 150 innings pitched, and the hardest hit ball. So he has really good stuff, but he throws some down the middle. You got to crank him when he does.
Yeah, Angels like line drives. They can do that. All right, guys, you know, you gotta focus. I'm going to end where we started, Tim. You got to focus on this Mariners team and not look ahead to Arlington.
Yeah, let's get a win. Finish this homestand on a great note.
All right, Griffin Canning on the hill this afternoon at the Big A, looking to get things going. Shohei Otani, can he make it 3 games with 3 home runs? Yeah, maybe. Anything's possible for the Unicorn as well. And this Angels team looking for their 5th win on the 6-game homestand. As we keep talking about, yeah, there's a big series looming in Arlington as they leave tonight. But right now, all the focus is on the field today. Angels baseball coming at you next.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
Hey fans, I'm breaking down MLB Play. I think they're the best MLB games. Now my personal favorite, Beat the Streak. Pick who you'll think will get a hit, building your own streak. It's all on you, baby. You can win $5.6 million. The streak's alive! Next up, Pickle. Guess the player in the fewest number of tries. Got him! And there's other games like Bingo, a race to be first. Bingo! MLB Play. Great games, great prizes, and it's all free. No purchase necessary. Restrictions apply. See official rules and enter at MLB.com/play. Oh yeah!
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network. Keep up with every team on MLB Network wherever you go. Just download the MLB app, click MLB Network, and sign in with your TV provider info. Then watch MLB Network all day, every day, your way.
team. The heart of LA, Valley Sports West. The heart of the fan.
Day of baseball on a beautiful Sunday in Southern California. Today's game brought to you by Indeed, the finale and rubber game of this three-game series between the Los Angeles Angels and the Seattle Mariners. Alongside Mark Gubicza, I'm Wayne Randazzo, and Gooby, a chance for the Angels to win this series against a division rival.
And finish a great homestand, Wayne. It'll be a 5-1 there. Had a sweep against Chicago, win a series against Seattle, especially with a team they battled over the last couple of seasons. A big game here today.
Certainly is, and Shohei Otani's had some big games lately for the Angels. Shohei has homered in each of the last 2 days, and we'll see what kind of production he can bring today.
Yeah, he crushed that ball to dead center field on Friday night, going 440 feet. He got a fastball there, crushing number 17 of the season for Shohei Otani, and then last night on a slider after being struck out on the exact same pitch, made the adjustment, hit number 18 of the season. That went about 400 feet to right field. 16 career home runs for Shohei Otani against Seattle, looking for 3 straight games with a home run today, with the baseball will be carrying very well.
And if he gets there, he could take over the American League lead in home runs. Right now, 1 behind Aaron Judge. As far as the Major League lead, it's Pete Alonso of the Mets, but he's on the IL right now. Burger King ruling the plate, and Shohei certainly has been lately for the Angels. And while he's been ruling the plate, well, Griffin Canning has been ruling the mound, Gooby. Canning's been really good over his last few starts.
Yeah, Wayne, he's commanding all 4 of his pitches consistently in the strike zone. I really love what he's doing with his changeup. And you mentioned those, especially his last 3 games, what he has done on the mound. 2 wins in that, and an ERA 1.89, opponent's batting average of 177, opponent's OPS of 556. Fastball's been touching 97. His slider's been good, curveball, but I really like his changeup, which should be effective against the Seattle lineup, especially a couple of the right-handers in that lineup.
Griffin Canning heading to the mound here this afternoon, trying to help the Angels win this series against the Seattle Mariners. He'll be up against righty Logan Gilbert here this afternoon. It certainly is a star-studded series. Ty France and Julio Rodriguez leading the Mariners. On the Angels side, Mike Trout and Shohei Otani will have the rubber game between the Angels and the Mariners coming up.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time tracks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
Take control of your health by boosting your force field, the immune system. With the Aura Ring, you can listen to your body's signals and raise your defenses. Aura tells you when your temperature is higher than normal, how to improve your sleep, or if your heart rate shows signs of stress, so you can decide to push yourself or to lie low. Live smarter, stronger, healthier with the Aura Ring.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments, like the generic form of Viagra, which can cost 90% less than the brand name version. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Start your free visit today at forhims.com.
brought to you by Nissan. Explore great deals at the Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event. Shop NissanUSA.com. By Jack in the Box. Try the Ribeye Steakhouse Burgers. Now at Jack in the Box. And by the OC Healthcare Agency. Build your healthiest self at angels.ocnavigator.org. Angels Stadium, as the Angels will wear their City Connect uniforms today, taking on the Seattle Mariners in the finale of this series. Good to see the beach theme back at the ballpark today. Shohei Otani doing a little Mo, Curly, and Larry with Luis Rengifo there.
I love that. Mo, Larry, the cheese on that.
Hey, poor Luis Rengifo wasn't ready to be on Larry Fine's side right there.
He's ready. That's the key. He's going to have a big game now swinging the bat.
Shohei has taken the Mo look and kind of made it a little more modern and a little bit more GQ to Shohei's head of hair, as the Angels will take the field here momentarily to finish up this 3-game series against the Seattle Mariners. Griffin Canning has certainly stood out the way that he has pitched lately.
Yeah, I mean, I just love his changeup, but it's almost like it's a sinking fastball. It's going to be about 90-91, but his fastball velocity's been there. He's healthy this season, attacking the strike zone, throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, throwing a lot of strikes in general. So far, it's been really, really good, especially his last 3 times out. My go-tos for Griffin Canning to continue this upward trend as far as dominating the strike zone, and his opponents on the mound using all those pitches is use the fastball to set up his slider. Ride that fastball upstairs and have that slider go down the way, especially against some of the right-handed batters down into lefties. And success with his changeup, both the lefties and especially the right-handed batters. His changeup has been excellent.
There's the lineup for Seattle. Weighted runs created plus the number that we gauge to see how the Mariners offense has been doing. Jared Kelnick's been their best player in terms of that. Julio Rodriguez and Ty France, though, have both been heating up over the last couple of weeks. So see how it goes today. Seattle had 16 hits yesterday, a season high for them, as they broke the Angels' 5-game winning streak.
Take a look at our Easton and Easton defense with Mike Trout out in center field. 2 outfield assists, 1,000 fielding percentage, 42 career outfield assists for Trout, 41 in right field. You got Taylor Ward to his left, Renfroe to his right. Infield, you got Rengifo making a start at third base, Zach Neto at short, Brandon Drury at second, and Jared Walsh back in there at first base, and Matt Thaiss behind the plate calling the pitches for Griffin Canning. Trotty's made a couple really good plays in this homestand defensively at center field. Yes, it's been a struggle swinging the bat, but he hasn't taken it out. The defense has been solid.
Made the game-winning catch in the game Friday on a long drive off the bat of Ty France. J.P. Crawford had a 4-hit game yesterday. He strides to the plate here to start things off on a lovely Sunday afternoon in Southern California. We've seen some cracks of the sun today. A little cloudy right now, but I'm sure the sun will come back out before this one is over, as the Angels try to not only win 2 out of 3 in this series, make it a 5-1 homestand before another important series starts tomorrow night in Texas, as the Angels will play 4 games against the first-place Rangers. Crawford stands in. Griffin Canning's on the mound. We are underway at Angel Stadium. Crawford swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Mike Trout will call everybody off and make the catch.
Love that, too, getting that quick 1-pitch out. Crawford knows that Griffin Canning is around the strike zone first pitch a lot. He's up there attacking. It's a fly ball, lazy fly ball to Trout to get that first out of the game.
Key player profile as Julio Rodriguez steps to the plate for Seattle. Last night, his 40th career home run, second fastest Mariner to get there. Of course, Alex Rodriguez is number 1 on that list.
He's been locked in his last 17 games, 366, 26 for 71 with 5 home runs and 15 RBIs.
2-run homer yesterday off of Patrick Sandoval in the 3rd inning gave Seattle the lead. One of the rare games this year where the Angels never had a lead. Just 14 out of the 66 games they've played so far in which the Angels have not led at any point.
Not game for Sandoval yesterday. He did have 8 strikeouts, but a couple pitches he probably wanted to take back. Not that pitch to take back for Canning. Paints fastball in.
Strike 3 called on the inside corner to Julio Rodriguez. First strikeout for Canning.
See if it does indeed catch the strike zone. That's just a really good pitch. Expecting a break ball. Maybe got the break on that one. That's a little bit off the inside corner. Again, 96 miles an hour for Canning.
2 up, 2 down here in the top of the first. Brings up Ty France. First pitch swinging, lines a base hit to center field. As the Mariners have their first hit, but all 3 hitters have swung at the first pitch so far.
Canning around the strike zone, especially first pitch. Batters this season 296 with 1 home run in the first pitch.
Brings up Kelenic, who homered in the ball game on Friday. Mariners haven't hit a lot of home runs. In the bottom third in the major leagues in homers. They've hit 66. By contrast, the Angels have hit 89. They've been a much more powerful team than Seattle has. Scott Service has said recently that he'd like to see more power. You can't go into the clubhouse and tell everybody to hit more home runs, but he'd like to see it become an organic thing that is added to their lineup.
Because they do have some speed in their lineup. But when you go back to their success over the last few seasons, it's all been predicated around the ability to hit home runs. You get 2 quick outs like this, and for Griffin Canning, you don't want to put yourself in a spot now. Now 2-0 count to Kelenic. He's really good as far as sitting on a fastball. This is more likely a fastball count, although Canning's really good using his secondary pitches.
Out at first, it's a pickoff of Ty France.
That's his 7th career pickoff. They might check it.
Well, he's definitely out.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's with a left-handed throwing first baseman, that's a quicker tag as compared to a right-handed throwing one, a longer tag. Great pickoff move by Canning.
Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you or someone you love used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait. There may be time deadlines to file a claim.
Call 800-892-7300. That's 800-892-7300.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive, but here's a secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh hi, we're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You could try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Plus telling us some of the story of the Angels offense, including how good Shohei Otani has been. The number above 100 is how much above league average the player is, and in Shohei's case, 51% better than league average at the plate so far this year, let alone what he's done on the mound. And Logan Gilbert is on the mound for Seattle.
Yeah, power fastball, run that 4-seam fastball upstairs, 93-98. He'll throw a slider, curve, and split finger changeup. My go-tos to have a solid game here in this afternoon against Gilbert is you got to bring those fastballs down to lower letters, and that's where you have a chance, because he tries to run a 5 above that, but also score early in this game. He struggles in the first inning.
He has an 8.25 ERA in the first inning. Has a 6.75 ERA in the third. So typically early in the games is when Logan Gilbert is susceptible to allowing some runs. And there's a high fly ball off the bat of Taylor Ward. That's going to go. Home run to start the game. Taylor Ward leads it off by making it 1-0 Angels.
8th home run of the season, 25 RBIs. That's now the 5th home run he has allowed in the first inning. Wayne, that's a pretty high total for Gilbert before he settles in. But what a swing. And look at numbers, though. That's now 6 for 13 for Taylor Ward against Logan Gilbert. Love to get that early score going. That ball was crushed. Buto time for Taylor Ward.
Third career leadoff homer for Taylor Ward, his second this year. He cranked that one out to left into the Mariners bullpen. Hard hit grounder off the bat of Otani. Caballero, though, down to a knee. A little wild with the throw, but France handles it, and there's one away.
Well, he's got that foot down, and you've got that fastball that was elevated for him in the inner half, and he was jumping on that pitch. Long way out. Nice play. I think it was in the bullpen by one of the relievers running in there. Big at bat already early in the game for Trout. 92 career home runs in the first inning. You'd love to see Trout get it going, swinging the bat.
There's been a struggle in the month of June for Trout. Just 3 hits in 32 at bats.
Trout had an epic at bat against Logan Gilbert up in Seattle last year. A number of fastballs stayed with him. Eventually Trout hit a home run to center field up at T-Mobile Park. 2 for 6 in his career with that home run for Trout against Gilbert.
Taylor Ward's leadoff home run, the first time he's hit a leadoff homer off someone other than Lucas Giolito. His first 2 career leadoff homers came off the White Sox starter.
And that was a fastball hard to play. That was the 9th pitch of the at bat. All fastballs, dead center for Trout. Seeing a steady diet of fastballs again in this at bat.
Pops this one up to the right side. France is over near the Mariners dugout and makes the catch. Trout fouls out, and there's 2 down here in the bottom of the first.
Stayed with another fastball. Real nice play by Ty France to get to that dugout. He had his friends there to make sure he wasn't going to flip over that guardrail. But a nice play that was. Kept his eye on the baseball and still controlled it using that second hand to be able to keep it in the glove. It's really turned into a really nice player for the Seattle Mariners. Ty France for the Padres.
Man without a position for a while, Ty France. He bounced around, played at a bunch of different infield positions. He was included in a trade that really shaped the Mariners. Getting France, Andres Munoz. And they traded for Luis Torrens and Taylor Trammell, all in that same deal, with Austin Adams and Austin Nola. Well, with Dan Altavilla going to the Padres, really a trade the Mariners feel like that they've won. Brandon Drury hits one hard toward the gap in right center. Rodriguez got a good jump. He's over at the wall. It's off the wall. Drury's at second. He has a 2-out double. That one just missed getting out.
What a great swing that was for Brandon Drury. He's been doing that very effectively, driving the ball right center field, letting that baseball get a little bit deeper, going inside out. His 16th double, 28 extra base hits on that pitch. We showed that just the other day as far as how he's been able to keep his balance. That just missed going out. And thinking more squaring up the baseball, quicker hands, quicker through the baseball. As compared to a couple years ago when he was with Toronto, where he was more into the launch angle. Different launch angle now and more consistent line drives.
Matt Thaiss swings through a slider from Logan Gilbert, who's given up a couple extra base hits here in the first. Taylor Ward leadoff homer. Now Drury a 2-out double.
Is that trend in the first inning again, waiting for Logan Gilbert? He has struggled in the first inning.
Pitch there to get ahead 0-2. He's also struggled with men on base and with men in scoring position. When the bases are empty, opponents hitting 174 against Gilbert. With men on base, that number goes up near 300.
And it's surprising with the stuff he has. That's the usually you go to that next level when you have runners in scoring position.
Runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Opponents hitting 350. So those numbers keep climbing in the wrong direction for Gilbert. He's got to find Walter. His alter ego. Where's Walter been? To help this guy out. Nice, it's a line drive, base hit to right. Drury's being waved around third. Teoscar Hernandez has a good arm. Throw to the plate on the way. Not in time. Drury safe. Thyson's up at second. The Angels have a 2-0 lead.
Hernandez has a very good throwing arm out in right field for Seattle, but Drury able to get that hand in. Another good swing by Matty Thaiss. Gets behind that one, and pretty accurate throw. A couple outfield assists this year, just underneath the tag. Good swing for Matt Thaiss.
The trends continue for Gilbert. Giving up first inning runs, allowing hits with men on base. Matt Thaiss driving in a 2-out run. And the Angels striking for a couple here in the first inning against Seattle. Hunter Renfroe at the plate. One ball, one strike. You know, hitters typically hit similar with men in scoring position as they do overall. There's usually not a huge gap. And for Renfroe, there's been a huge gap. You can eat into that a little bit here. Bouncing ball softly to third. Backhand by Suarez. Long throw across in time. And Renfroe ends the bottom of the first. But a couple of runs for the Angels. Taylor Ward wears the caboodle after a leadoff home run.
If sports fans built a streaming service.
What's going on?
I think we found a way to stop fans from destroying their TVs when their teams lose.
How's it work?
Hey, Charlie. Philly lost.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put you on hold for just 1 second. Okay.
No!
Yeah, we need a little bit of water splashing around this one.
Bob Ross channel. It's freaking genius.
Even a little over here.
Live TV and sports and more, but mostly sports. That's Fubo!
To get your best night's sleep, you need to sleep in something extraordinary. Woven with a silky softness unlike any other. From organic threads that are slow spun and finished in flame. Made from an ingredient so rare, less than 1% of the world's cotton meets our quality. It's the most extraordinary fabric ever made. Only from Boll & Branch.
As the Angels have the lead, Taylor Ward a leadoff home run. Angels added a run after that as well. Matt Thaiss an RBI single. Now Griffin Canning takes the mound in the second with a 2-run advantage. Jared Kelenic, who was at the plate when Canning picked off Ty France. And it's a roller right to Jared Walsh. Easy play, and there's one out. Canning with the first out here in the second. Right now we will send it downstairs. Here's Erica Weston.
Guys, the Angels got some good news, the best news possible. That's what Phil Nevin said last night. The MRI on his elbow showed no ligament damage. Of course, it was the ulnar neuritis that he was dealing with. He had that tingling numbness in his hand, his forearm, when he was taken out of the game Friday night. He's still dealing with a little bit of those symptoms, some soreness too, but the ligament is intact. That's the best news possible. So once they get that soreness out, he'll be back to throwing and be back on the mound soon after. Phil Nevin said scared him, scared us too, but best news possible. And Joyce told me he didn't sleep at all the other night waiting for the results of that MRI, but he did finally get some sleep during the MRI, in which he woke up shortly thereafter to hear the good news. So he'll be on the upcoming road trip, as will Matt Moore, both of them progressing toward a return.
That's great news. I mean, you consider how everyone was feeling that was going to be the case.
Teoscar Hernandez off the end of his bat, punches one into right field. And a 1-out single for Hernandez. I think everybody feared the worst, but hoped for the best, and got a little bit closer to the best than the worst. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely, especially with that high velocity he throws and the amount of effort to be able to create that kind of arm speed to throw the ball that hard. It's good news that it's not anything to do with the ligament that was repaired. That would be the Tommy John surgery.
Cal Raleigh looks at a strike at the top of the zone. Raleigh hitting just 190, or rather 214 on the year, hitting 190 on the road. You never know when he's going to run into one. 8 home runs, had a huge one at the end of last season. But the Mariners in the playoffs. A walk-off home run at a very loud T-Mobile Park. It was a long time to celebrate like that. It was a 21-year playoff drought.
Slider right on his hands. 0-2 slider off the plate against Hernandez. He's been swinging the bat a lot better of late. He's able to punch out one in the right. Raleigh's a guy that hits the ball in the air a lot, so not an easy guy to get a double play. 4 ground ball double plays turned behind Griffin Canning this year.
Swing and a miss. High fastball blows Cal Raleigh away. Canning has his second strikeout.
And both on fastballs so far. Coming into the game, 7 strikeouts with his fastball. 1 looking and 1 swinging well above the strike zone at 95. So a 96 and then a 95 mile-an-hour fastball. Strikeouts for Griffin Canning.
2 down. The batter is Eugenio Suarez. Suarez looks at a strike over the outside corner. Suarez just 6 home runs this year. This is a man who has led all of baseball in home runs dating back as far as 2018.
Let's take a look at our StatCast 3 powered by Google. Canning, what he has done, and been successful over his last 4 starts as far as 4-seam fastball 29%, slider at 29%, changeup really good at 24%, curveball solid as well, and throw a sinker, but real good swing and miss percentage with his changeup at a little over 36%.
Suarez fouls that one off his foot and still 0-2.
There's that changeup right there. So far today, 44%. It's a higher percentage of his 4-seam fastball, changeup 22, slider 22, and his curveball. So he's usually a guy that's really balanced as far as all 4 pitches that he'll mix during the course of the game.
He's really turned a corner lately, and you can see, just sense the command and the poise that he has on the mound right now.
A lot of confidence, feeling healthy, which is important for Griffin Canning. He's always had the stuff, is being able to be out there on the mound and competing. Fields his position extremely well. We saw that great pickoff move, already 7 in his career. Gold Glove winner back at 2020.
That's a lot for a right-hander, especially. Picked off Ty France in the first inning. Trying to pick off another, and Teoscar Hernandez dives back safely.
Get that footwork going. Quick release. I mean, he didn't even have a big lead and still almost got him.
Quick tag 2 by Jared Walsh.
Much easier with a left-handed thrower. That glove is quicker to the tag as compared to a right-handed thrower. Been a tough batter on the Angels all year, coming in 450 batting average for Suarez against Angels pitching.
Check swing, strike three. Eugenio Suarez goes too far on the slider. Back-to-back Ks and the second for Griffin Canning.
I love the Boys and Girls Clubs because they help you believe that you can make it to the big leagues.
Big leagues of what? Law. Art. Construction. Baseball.
How'd you guess?
With the help of Major League Baseball, the Boys and Girls Clubs of America help kids make it to the big leagues of anything.
Baseball's biggest moments are live on MLB Big Inning. MLB.tv's nightly show takes you from game to game for all the grand slams, no-hitters, walk-offs, and more as they happen.
Wow, he can do it all!
Don't miss the ultimate baseball highlight reel.
This is some kind of awesome.
After your game ends, the action's just heating up on MLB Big Inning. Every night on MLB.tv.
Time for Hyundai Key for the game today. Going a little poison today. Something to believe in. That approach and game plan against Logan Gilbert today. So far, so good. A couple runs in the first inning. Some good swings. See if it can continue on against a very, very good pitcher.
Luis Rengifo looks at a strike. Gilbert has allowed a lot of runs in the first and third innings this year, but none in the second so far this season. We'll see if the Angels can change that. Rengifo has had a good month of June so far, swinging the bat as well as he has all year. And from both sides of the plate. Hard hit ball, but right at Caballero, the second baseman. One out. Jared Walsh will be the batter. Yeah, something to believe in. A good line for the Angels. Trying to win this series, trying to make it a 5-1 homestand, getting to the middle part of June. Very much in the race in the American League. A team that feels like they've got a real shot to be a postseason team. I wonder if the fans are starting to believe in this group a little bit and seeing what they can do here as they get toward the middle part of the year.
Especially a series like this against Seattle. If you can somehow be able to pull this one off and win this series. You got a 4-game set in Texas. Texas lost again today. So did Houston. So yeah, there's a lot to believe in, but it all starts here today.
Angels within striking distance in the American League West. They're right there in the wild card race, which is starting to shape. So there's a lot to think about as far as the Angels go and what lies ahead in this season. A lot of games left. The Angels very much in the mix and intend to be throughout the entire part of this year.
Success out of the bullpen has been a big reason why this team is playing so much better too. And getting length from your starters. But this would really help if you get Jared Walsh going. You know how good he is defensively at first base. Back to what he was even doing in spring training a couple years ago. He's an all-star.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Walsh, hitting just .133. He's had 56 plate appearances and he's only managed 6 hits. Has not shown much power yet. There's still some room for patience, although Phil Nevin has said a couple of times now that the Angels are going to play their best guys, and if that means Walsh plays less, then that's what they have to do. There's strike 3 called as Walsh goes down on a slider. First strikeout for Logan Gilbert. There's 2 up, 2 down here in the second. Zach Neto will be the batter. Gilbert gets the breaking ball over to get ahead. 0-1.
It's time for Neto facing Gilbert. Walsh now 2 for 14 in his career with that strikeout, with 8 strikeouts against Gilbert.
Gilbert has faced the Angels a few times. Last time he pitched here, he had a career high 11 strikeouts. That was in a game last September. He's had one 10 strikeout game this year. Came on May 8th, took a no-hitter into the 6th inning against the Rangers in that game. 3 balls, 1 strike now on Neto. Taylor Ward, who led off this game with a home run, on deck. Neto with a high fly ball to left field. He's watching this one fly. That ball is gone. Zach Neto stared it down as he cranks a 2-out homer off Gilbert. It's the 4th homer for Neto, and the Angels are up by 3.
Well, that's over the 390 sign in left center field. That baseball was crushed by Neto. And the trend of Logan Gilbert with no runs allowed in the 2nd, well, that changed up there with that swing. Neto crushed it out. Big add-on run here early, so 2 home runs allowed by Gilbert, 1 by Ward, and now Zach Neto, Uto time, and high fives in the dugout.
I'll say Zach has one of the smaller heads, I think, on the team, so the Kabuto is flopping around a little bit. But he hit that ball 421 feet.
Exit velocity of 105.9. That's Power FM, isn't it?
Sure was.
Yeah, that was power.
He knew it too. He was watching that ball sail over that 390 sign in left center field. 3-0. The Angels are ahead.
Got that foot down, and that baseball was upstairs, and he still jumped on it. That's a fastball. A couple 4-seam fastballs hit out. It's Gilbert today. Coming in and gave up 5 home runs versus fastball, make that 7.
Fly ball to right off the bat of Ward. Traveled a bit too as Teoscar Hernandez gets to it. And that ends the 2nd, but Zach Neto connects in the City Connect. 421-foot home run. Puts the Kabuto on him.
Sunday on the next episode of MLB's Carded. Join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network. Games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Enrique Quique Hernández.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, papá. Dímelo, mi hermano. Mira, te prometí que íbamos a cocinar. Como tú eres de Boston, yo soy de la de Nueva York, vamos a hacer una competencia.
Yo soy bastante competitivo. No hay nada como la comida latina.
Nada.
Don't take presentation to evaluation, okay? Just flavor. Una cosa que es bien importante para mí es siempre disfrutar ese juego.
Salud, mi hermano. A la vida más fina.
Neto have given the Angels a 3-0 lead today. And we've talked a lot about this roster being a little fuller, about wrapping around Trout and Otani the way that they have. And a good sign of it today, the way that Neto and Ward have carried the offense.
Yeah, swinging that, high fastballs. Both elevated fastballs hit out. Neto crushed that one. Same thing with Taylor Ward.
Mike Ford, it's a pop-up out to left center field. Neto goes out, Ward comes in. And the 2 home run Angels today. They're there to make the play. Taylor Ward calls off Neto.
They just had to bring it all together, especially after just talking about him hitting home runs. They just had to go out there and have a quick conversation, and Neto out of the way. Is Ward able to make that play? So a quick out again to start an inning. Griffin Canning throwing a lot of strikes so far.
And there's a strike to Jose Caballero.
Oh, that's a good slider there. Good adjustment after the slider before he overthrew a bit.
Caballero lays off the high fastball. Mariners second basemen have done very little offensively this year. Caballero's really been the best of the bunch. Colton Wong has been a disappointment for Seattle coming over from the Brewers. Caballero lines a base hit to left. 1 out single here in the 3rd inning. Mariners actually just signed Didi Gregorius to a minor league deal in the last week. Maybe he could play second base for them. Caballero trying to lock it down, and he's on with 1 out.
So a couple hits already in this game versus sliders from Griffin Canning. Caballero with the slider. He's over the middle of the plate, and a slider against Hernandez. He went to right field on. .233 batting average with 20 strikeouts and a whiff percentage over 32% with his slider this year for Canning.
Strike to J.P. Crawford, and a throw to first chases back Caballero.
He's got some speed. 7 stolen bases. Been caught twice.
Ground ball to second base. Drury bobbles it, then flips to second and still gets the out.
You hope Neto's okay on that hard slide. I don't know if he got spiked on that one.
And Drury on that ball was lucky to be able to recover the way he did and just scoop it to Neto.
Yeah, it's no panic there by Drury. You might have a shot at a double play ball normally, but still nice play in the knee area. Looked like he got cleated. There's nothing Caballero could do about that one at all. You still get the out. It gives an opportunity for Julio Rodriguez to come into play with someone on.
Good pitch by Canning to get ahead with the slider, swing and a miss.
Remember, struck him out with a fastball inside. First at bat. Start him off with a slider there.
It's on the inside corner.
Back in again against him. What he froze him the first at bat.
Struck him out on that very pitch in pretty much that same spot. Ball gets away from Theis, and Crawford advances to second on a wild pitch.
Your goal there as a catcher is to be able to move your body over to keep that slider. Although when the slider, especially a spin of a curveball or slider, when it hits the dirt, you just don't know exactly the direction it will take. But the best chance you do on that one is to get that and hit that off the chest protector to keep it close enough in front.
Canning still ahead of Rodriguez. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Went back in with that fastball, and this time Rodriguez fouled it off of Theis.
That catching position, such a difficult position. Foul baseballs, right on the kneecap when you have that leg down. You're seeing so many catchers with the one leg down now. On the kneecap, even though you have the shin guards, still with that little bit of a, because your leg is the way it is, there's still a little bit of a gap sometimes. See that right there in the shin guards between the knee and the shin itself.
Julio laid off that slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Can't get Rodriguez to bite again. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Big pitch. One thing with Griffin Canning, you have 4 pitches you can throw here in this spot. See if you can get Julio Rodriguez to chase something, be over aggressive with a runner in scoring position.
On 3-2, Rodriguez rolls 1 foul off the screen behind the Angels dugout.
So he went 3-2 changeup on him, which has been a very, very good pitch.
Ty France on deck as Rodriguez tries to keep this 3rd inning alive. Canning wants a new ball. He's allowed a hit in each inning so far. He's had 3 strikeouts. Been efficient to this point as well, trying to get through this 3rd inning with no runs on the board for Seattle. Angels have scored 3 in the first 2 innings against Logan Gilbert. Almost foul again.
Now with that slider, you've established you threw it for a strike. You might get him to chase this slider off the plate. And that's why you might see a quick conversation with Matt Theis and Griffin Canning what you want to go with here. You can tell by that walk out to the mound, that foul ball off the kneecap area is still pretty sore for Theis. And slider first pitch, and he went 4-seamer back to a slider. And there's a couple changeups in there also. I still think he might go after a slider off the plate.
Long meeting on the mound, so home plate umpire will go to break it up. Ryan Wills gets Theis back behind home plate. Rodriguez facing Canning for the first time in his career today. Struck out the first time. He stays alive again. So good battle here. Julio Rodriguez, who got off to a slow start in his sophomore year in the major leagues. A whole lot better over the last few weeks.
Change up there again. Inside. Fastball inside here now.
Swing and a miss.
Change
Long
piece.
at bat. Canning goes to the changeup. And Julio Rodriguez strikes out to end the top of the 3rd. Shohei Otani will lead off the bottom of the 3rd.
Think baseball.
There's something that's been missing in the debate.
Think analysis.
Now he goes into his contract year. What do you do with this guy?
Think advanced metrics.
The new rules are having an impact, and I'll bottom line it.
Think MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan, only on MLB Network.
From the power at the plate.
Vinny hits it deep to right field. Gone!
To the domination on the mound.
And the speed on the base pass.
That takes off. He's in there safely.
MLB Tonight has all the bases covered, with live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
MLB Tonight takes you live inside the park.
Every night on MLB Network.
It's like that. Got him and stays fair. As Shohei Otani comes to the plate leading off the bottom of the third. He has been roasting at the plate. That OPS over the last 11 games, over 1,300. He's hit 6 home runs, 2 in this series, and he bats against Logan Gilbert to start the third.
He has 16 career home runs against Seattle pitching.
He has 18 home runs now on the season. Grounded out to the second baseman Caballero his first time.
70 career home runs. These two batters coming up this inning against Seattle pitching.
Curveball there by Gilbert to get a strike.
He's given up a couple home runs already on his four-seam fastball.
Pulls the string there. It's a splitter that Gilbert's throwing now. He used to throw that circle change, but he has switched to the splitter this year, and he's getting better results, more ground balls.
So 102 batting average against the splitter. And that's something at Shohei between the splitter changeup. It's been a tough pitch for him this year.
He's way out in front of the last one. Now it's 1-2. He lines it to right center, a base hit. Gilbert tried the splitter again, and Otani has a leadoff single.
Wide turn by Otani on that one. Stayed back on that splitter. It's amazing. Even when his front hip opens up, he still keeps his hands back so well and hits that line drive in the right center for a base hit. Continues that hot stretch he is on. Now 17 for 46 in his last 12 games.
There's 9 stolen bases. Next one will give him 10 steals and, of course, more than 10 home runs already.
It's a longer throwing delivery for Logan Gilbert. He doesn't have a high leg kick, but a longer throwing motion might give Shohei a shot at stealing the bag.
Just a short list of players that have hit 10 home runs and stolen 10 bases already this year.
Well, he thought about going there.
He started and didn't get a great jump, so he stopped. 2 balls, no strikes on Trout.
Cal always thrown out 26% of base stealers this year, 29 in his career. Solid behind the plate. So not an easy combo with him behind the plate here.
As that last pitch was called a strike. No, did not seem to be. 1 ball, 1 strike. Flare to right, that's going to get down. Base hit for Trout. Shohei's on his way to third. He will gallop there easily. Back-to-back hits. Otani and Trout setting the table here in the third inning.
And sometimes a flare will get you going. And Trout gets that little flare base hit. Needed that in a big-time way. Fastball in, strong enough to fight that little flare into the outfield. That's the kind of hit that gets you going. Shohei sees that, reads it down, easy, cruises in to go first to third on that little flare for Trout, giving Brandon Drury a shot here to add on here. That's big time. That's a huge hit for Trout. Not
Huge exit velocity, but a hit, a flare gets you going.
Otani's at third, Trout's at first, and the Angels have a chance against Logan Gilbert here in the bottom of the third to add to the lead. Angels with 2 in the first inning, 1 in the second. They've had their way with Gilbert so far.
That was hit versus a fastball for Trout. Not exactly high velocity, exit velocity on that one, but it's a base hit.
Here's Brandon Drury, doubled off the wall his last time. There's a flare to right center field. Caballero races out, makes the catch. Runners have to hold as Drury pops out. There's 1 away. We'll bring up Matt Thaiss, who drove home a run with a base hit his first time. Logan Gilbert pitched well in his last start against the Padres, but the start before that he struggled. Allowed 7 runs, 5 earned against the Yankees May 30th. Gave up a couple of home runs in that game, as he has here today. Almost to the backstop, and a good job by Raleigh to save a run.
It's pretty impressive to be able to reach up and catch that ball or keep it close enough where Trout at least couldn't advance. That's a splitter that slipped out of his hand.
Hard to believe that one didn't end up at the backstop. You don't expect a splitter to go there. Nice drives one to right. This one pretty deep. That ball is one-upping the fence in right field. Shohei scores. Here comes Trout racing around third. The relay throw is dropped. Trout slides home safely. Matt Thaiss has a 2-run double. 3 RBIs today. 5-0 in favor of the Angels.
Thaiss is nice so far in this game. That ball was crushed to right field. By the way, Trout got around to score for first base, and that ball was rocketed off the wall. That's how fast Trout is. Saw that relay throw a little bit higher in there, and Bill Hasselman sensed that, but what a swing for Matt Thaiss, who's been great with runners in scoring position this season. 333. That'll go up a little bit more on that swing.
5-0 against Logan Gilbert. Now Renfroe with a pop-up down the right field line. France over for it, could not make the catch. Juggled it right into those seats, so fan celebrates right in his face. That's how you do it right there.
That's some nice seats. Earlier in the game, France made a real nice play by the Mariners dugout. This time unable to make that play. Renfroe another opportunity to drive in a run.
Renfroe with the drive, left center field. Kelnick is after in the gap. He won't get there. It's off the wall. Thaiss scores. Renfroe heads for second RBI double. 6-0. The Angels pouring it on Logan Gilbert.
It's that third inning, like you mentioned earlier, Wayne. First and third innings have not been kind to Logan Gilbert. And that's a good swing there for Hunter Renfroe. Proud Papa, and that's a little dad strength on that one. Double off the wall. Well, he stayed on that one really well. Got new life on that ball. Was not caught. Stayed on. A great balance on that swing for Renfroe, and he crushed that ball. Dad strength.
Pete Woodworth, the pitching coach for the Mariners, is out at the mound. The Angels have roughed up Logan Gilbert today. They have scored 6 times on 8 hits. They have 5 extra base hits, 2 home runs, 3 doubles. It's back-to-back 2 base hits from Thaiss and Renfroe, plating 3 here in the third inning. And this Angels team can really swing the bat. And Luis Rengifo looks at a strike.
Bullpen action now. Gilbert's thrown the ball really well in his career, 4-1 with a 3.51, but today not so much, 2 1/3, 6 earnings so far.
Walter's on the milk carton right now.
We're all part of Waynesboro right now.
Well, enter at your own risk, I guess. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Luis Rengifo. A backdoor breaking ball for strike 3 as Gilbert gets just his 2nd strikeout. 2 outs. That brings up Jared Walsh. We'll go back to the end of the top of the 3rd. And the Angels had a 3-0 lead. Seattle was getting a little bit of life. They had a man in scoring position. Julio was up there battling and battling. And Griffin Canning wins that battle, gets a big strikeout in that moment.
That was a great changeup. He threw a lot of pitches to a very hot hitter.
Jared Walsh with a drive, right center field. Rodriguez is over, makes the running catch. That's as well struck of a ball as we've seen from Jared Walsh so far. And the Angels are getting a lot of other hits to fall in. Matt Thaiss rips a 2-run double. Hunter Renfroe drove one in as well with a double off the wall in left center. And it's all halos early.
Think baseball.
There's something that's been missing in the debate.
Think analysis.
Now he goes into his contract year. What do you do with this guy?
Think advanced metrics.
The new rules are having an impact, and I'll bottom line it.
Think MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan, only on MLB Network. MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party.
Oh, man.
With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake. That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network.
For the Angels here as we reach the 4th inning. Some of those kids will be running the bases after the game. Kids run the bases every Sunday home game. All the way toward the end of August here at Angel Stadium.
They were raising the roof there. Love that.
Let's raise the roof Sunday.
Yeah.
Ty France leads off the 4th. Looks at a strike from Griffin Canning. From what I understand, if you personally know the producer, it's a good chance you'll get on TV here at an Angels game.
That helps. That definitely helps.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Ty France.
Going back to what you said about last half inning, that at bat for Canning against Julio Rodriguez, that changeup, that strikeout, that was a huge at bat and a huge strikeout. What a great changeup that was for Canning.
Well, you said he had 4 pitches really to choose from in that 3-2 situation. It seemed like Rodriguez was on the fastball and just fouling off everything else. And finally Canning had that good changeup that dove and Rodriguez couldn't touch it. Two balls, 2 strikes on another good hitter, Ty France. He has a base hit today. France played at San Diego State. He played under Tony Gwynn while he was with the Aztecs. Tony Gwynn was
the head coach up until he passed away in 2014. France was on the team then. Fly ball to right field. Renfroe started in. That ball's over his head, and he won't be able to get there as it goes over the fence on a hop. So it's a double for France as Renfroe misjudged it.
France really good on breaking balls, and that was a high slider. Another hit versus a slider today against Griffin Canning. Stayed upstairs. He's always on breaking balls really effectively.
Leadoff man in scoring position for Seattle here in the fourth. Jared Kelenic, the batter. Kelenic with an unsure swing as Canning gets the fastball by him. Beautiful day. Good crowd again here at Angel Stadium. Good crowds all weekend here at the Big A.
Job of blocking that ball, keeping it in front. You go back to last season for Ty France versus breaking balls. 11 home runs, a .294 batting average, slugged over 500, 515. A bit different this season, but he did have that slider upstairs and hit it to right field and gets a double out of it. Nice job by Theis to keep him at second base, though.
There's a strike on a changeup at the bottom of the zone, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It was another changeup. This one over the outside corner, and Canning struck out 5.
Coming in 10 strikeouts versus his changeup, but a whiff percentage over 25% with his changeup. Couple strikeouts with his changeup today already. Couple with his four-seam fastball, one with his slider. It's a big out. You keep him at second base and getting that out now. Hernandez hit a base hit to right field on an 0-2 pitch on a slider to first at bat.
Fouls this one back. You'll find strikeouts in this Seattle lineup. The Mariners have struck out the 3rd most of any team in the major leagues. Only Minnesota and San Francisco have struck out more than the Mariners.
That's a pretty good pitch. Good take by Hernandez, who's been swinging the bat very well of late.
He's been better after a very slow start to his Mariner career. Traded from Toronto in the offseason for Eric Swanson. Mariners were hoping to get more power. Hernandez hit 10 home runs, but hasn't been very consistent offensively. His OPS under 700, even with some better moments lately. Two balls and a strike on Hernandez.
Trying to get the Mariners hitter to chase above the strike zone with his four-seam fastball. Did get a strikeout. Calrally that first time he was up on a high fastball.
Slider stayed up, and it's a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hernandez hit a couple of home runs against the Mariners last year in the postseason in that American League Wild Card Series. And that crazy second game. The Blue Jays had a big lead and let it get away. Seattle advanced into the division series. And almost got a leg up on the Astros in the first game of that ALDS before Yordan Alvarez electrified Minute Maid Park with a homer off Robbie Ray to win game 1. Hernandez with a drive to left field. Taylor Ward turns around. This ball is gone. Teoscar Hernandez gets the Mariners on the board. Seattle gets a couple runs back. The Angels lead is now 6-2.
You got a change up there. They've got more of the strike zone, especially on a 3-2 count. Just like that, Seattle battling right back. The 9th home run that Griffin Canning has allowed this season, 7 of them versus right-handed batters.
And the trident, some sunflower seeds in the face. The Mariners celebrating a 2-run homer off the bat of Teoscar Hernandez. These are probably the 2 best home run celebrations around the league between these 2 teams, with the Caputo and the trident. Hard to beat.
Yeah, I agree. Although we prefer not to see that trident a whole lot, though.
Somebody's going to have to stuff that on the airplane when they get out of here today. Raleigh couldn't hold his swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mariners are heading back to Seattle. They will be in action tomorrow against the Marlins, who just won a series against the White Sox, winning yesterday and today in games where they trailed into the 9th inning. Two balls, 2 strikes on Raleigh. Home run trident. Now shall not pass.
So waiting to see Aquaman there.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Raleigh struck out his first time. Suarez behind him also struck out. 3-2 on Raleigh. Swing and a miss. Canning pulls the string again.
Good slider there. Use all those pitches. Great spot. Punched him out with a high fastball the first at bat. Strikes him out with a slider down and in.
Six strikeouts. Canning's season high is 9. Had that against the White Sox 2 starts ago. Here's Eugenio Suarez. As he takes ball 1. Harder work for Canning here in the 4th inning. Still fairly decent pitch count. There's a strike with the slider, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Some deeper counts here over the last couple of innings.
Gotta have that trust in your defense now.
Good pitch again. That slider with the tight spin down.
When he stays on top of the baseball to create that downward action on the slider, it's really good. Every once in a while he gets that slider, it's flattened out up in the upper part of the strike zone. It's an issue for him, but that slider down is a great pitch.
Upstairs with the fastball, so he runs a full count on Suarez. 3-2. Mike Ford follows here in the 4th inning if Suarez can reach. Canning just trying to get through with a fairly sizable lead. That's in there. Strike 3 called. Suarez goes down looking. Canning strikes out 3 in the inning. The Mariners do get a couple of runs. They get a bit closer at 6-2.
I started experiencing some slight symptoms of ED. She asked me, "Do you love me anymore?" And so I knew I had to do something about it.
I came across RexMD, and you go online, you answer the medical questions.
The medication is at my house within a couple of days.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
It's literally life-changing.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
Get started today with RexMD.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Join ButcherBox today and get 100% grass-fed ground beef free for a year.
Ball. The Angels hosted 750 kids for Play Ball Weekend at Great Park in Irvine. The focus, connecting youth from different backgrounds and encouraging families and communities to play all summer long. Zach Neto, Reed Detmers, Jaime Berea, Taylor Ward, all taking in the fun yesterday morning prior to their game. Had a great time, too. In fact, Zach Neto told me he had a lot of fun running around with those kids, probably because he's not too much older than them. But he put on the defense clinic, running clinic, had a lot of fun. They also told him he looked like he was 42 years old. I don't know how I feel about that one.
There's one that eats up Crawford, and Neto's going to reach. Gives Crawford an error.
Yeah, it was hit well, but right at him off his glove. Take that start, especially with that speed at first base.
Second error of this series for Crawford.
Neto, when he's talking about defense there with the kids, probably saying, hey, listen, this is what I want you to do. Get in front of that baseball and field that baseball.
Crawford made an error on Friday right before Shohei Otani launched a 440-foot home run. It was off Luis Castillo on Friday. Angels have teed off on Logan Gilbert today. 6 runs on 8 hits. Taylor Ward has one of the home runs, a leadoff shot in the first inning.
I feel like there's some action here. Whoa, there's, I guess, the action hit by pitch.
There's a splitter. A second time we've seen that splitter run away from Gilbert. Last time was to a lefty, so nobody was in the right-handed batter's box, but this time Taylor Ward gets hit.
I wonder how much longer he's going to be in this game, and maybe not much longer at all now. Scott Service walking that slow walk out to the mound.
It's about as poorly as we've seen Logan Gilbert pitch in a major league game. He's typically had very good stuff, but today not his day. And he walks off as the Angels have teed him up for 6 runs. They have 2 more on base, and a new pitcher will face Shohei in just a moment.
Sure, you'll teach her to drive a car. Then use Greenlight and teach her to save up for her own car. Mowing lawns and getting paid. Navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
Create amazing work with Fiverr. All you need is your team and a talented freelancer who will lend a hand and seamlessly join your team from just about anywhere. Expand your team with a Fiverr freelancer.
When the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential, and what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
To you by your local Southern California Cadillac dealers. By Spectrum One Internet Advanced Wi-Fi Mobile for just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com. By Hyundai, it's your journey on every mile in a brand new Hyundai. And by Indeed, the world can work better. And Santa's still hanging around.
He's going to make it through the entire homestand. Way to go, Santa.
Keep seeing some ho-ho home runs today as the Angels have hit a couple.
Mrs. Claus should be here.
Oh, we'll be excited to see Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
Here's Matt Brash, the new pitcher for the Mariners.
His fastball, 94-99 curveball, slider, changeup. First pitch slider is something he'll do quite a bit to a left-handed batter.
Otani rips it to right center, a base hit. He was ready for that first pitch slider, and now the bases are loaded, nobody out, and the batter Mike Trout.
Now see how that base hit by Trout, that little flare can get him going. Bases loaded for Trout here now.
Trout has crushed the ball over the course of his career with the bases loaded. There's a chance to do some real damage. The Angels already up by 4. Ball 1 from Matt Brash.
Wow, that is impressive numbers with the bases loaded. 402 with 6 grand slams for Trout. Put yourself in a good count here. 1-0. You can center something in the strike zone now.
2 balls, no strikes. Trout has 119 career RBIs with the bases loaded in 87 at bats.
That's incredible numbers.
Add to it here with a base hit or a long one. The Angels will take whatever to add to their lead. They've scored in every inning so far. And there's a drive. Right field. Back for it, Hernandez. He is at the wall. He leaps and makes the catch. It gets a run home. Throw goes towards second. As Neto comes in, Mike Trout just missed another grand slam. Sent Teoscar Hernandez all the way back to the fence in right field.
But you go back to that flare. Now he's locked in. Pitch away. Tries to drive it away and out. Boy, just missed that one though. Hernandez back to the wall. Just gets it in front of the wall. Leaps up. A sac fly for Trout, 36th RBI. Good response by the offense coming right back after Seattle scored 2.
That run is charged to Gilbert. Still one more out there. That's his responsibility. Ward at third. Infield in for the Mariners. The Angels now lead 7-2. Drury swings through the slider from Brash, and it's 0-2.
And he's about nearly 80% of the time will throw an 0-2 slider here. The only other option for him would be try to run a fastball above the strike zone.
Slider, and it's a swing and a miss. Brash makes short work of Drury. Big second out for Seattle here in the 4th inning.
That slider, he came right back with it again, and he tried to stay back on that one to drive that ball to right field, but unable to do so. Brandon Drury.
Here's Theis, who has already had 3 RBIs today. Singled home a run in the first, doubled home 2 in the third. Swings through that slider. That is the go-to pitch for Brash. And he'll certainly rack up a lot of strikeouts. Brash has 111 major league strikeouts in 76 innings. Could be wild too. Gets him into some trouble. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Brash to end the inning, but one more run for the Angels. Trout just missed a grand slam, settled for a sac fly. It's 7-2.
From the power at the plate.
Vinny hits it deep to right field. Gone!
To the domination on the mound.
And the speed on the base path.
That takes off. He's in there safely.
MLB Tonight has all the bases covered, with live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
MLB Tonight takes you live inside the park.
Every night on MLB Network.
Enrique Quique Hernández. Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, papá.
Dímelo, mi hermano. Mira, te prometí que íbamos a cocinar. Como tú eres de Boston, yo soy de la de Nueva York, vamos a hacer una competencia.
Yo soy bastante competitivo. No hay nada como la comida latina.
Nada.
Don't take presentation to evaluation, okay? Just flavor. Una cosa que es bien importante para mí es siempre disfrutar ese juego.
Salud, mi hermano. A la vida más fina.
This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. Keep up with every team on MLB Network wherever you go. Just download the MLB app, click MLB Network, and sign in with your TV provider info. Then watch MLB Network all day, every day, your way.
Sage Griffin Canning today. We talked about that 4-pitch mix today. Fastball, couple of strikeouts upstairs, inside corner. Then goes to his slider. Then you're seeing another slider strikeout for Griffin Canning. Then his changeup, an excellent changeup to Julio Rodriguez. Another changeup fading away against Kelnick, and then he drops a curveball in there. So using all his pitches so far today with his strikeout working 2 fast, 2 slider, 2 change, and 1 curve.
Canning with 7 strikeouts overall. 2 shy of his season high of 9. Mike Ford leads off here in the top of the 5th inning. It's a high fly ball to right center field. Renfroe's going to watch this one sail into the seats. Mike Ford has homered for the 2nd time in this series. And there's not going away just yet. 7-3 here in the 5th.
Second home run, though, against his changeup today for Canning. Not allowed a home run versus his changeup. Just a 204 batting average. It's been very, very good. That changeup stayed middle. And with his launch angle for Ford, we've seen that wearing that Angel uniform. He will lift that baseball up, try to pull it.
Ford was an Angel as he was making brief stops at various locations last year, including Seattle. Back to the Mariners this year. High and tight as Canning brushes up against Jose Caballero. The Angels have scored in every inning, but Seattle hanging around. It's 7-3.
Especially with a day game here. That baseball, even though the sun has barely come out a whole lot today, the baseball carries so much better. And you're already seeing that with 4 home runs hit in the game combined for the 2 teams.
Angels got home runs from Ward and Neto. Mariners from Hernandez and Ford. Canning's been touched up a bit. Logan Gilbert allowed 7 runs, 6 earned in just 3+ innings today.
After 3 dominating innings for Griffin Canning, now Seattle banners that 2nd time through, a little more success.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Jose Caballero. Crawford and then Rodriguez follow him. Pitch count really rising. Canning's thrown nearly as many pitches in the 4th and 5th innings as he did in the first 3. Line to center. Mike Trout is there and makes the catch.
Knuckleball out to center field.
Caballero makes the first out. J.P. Crawford will be the batter. Canning trying to win his third straight start. His third straight decision, I should say. The Angels trying to win for a fourth straight start of Canning's.
He threw the ball really well down in Houston his last start.
And this last Sunday when the Angels won the finale there and kick-started their 5-game winning streak. The Angels didn't lose again until last night when the Mariners busted out 16 hits to take game 2 of this series. The Mariners are 2-5 in rubber games this year. That includes one against the Angels. These two teams met on the Angels opening road trip of the year in Seattle. The Halos won 2 out of 3 in that series, including a pretty tightly contested final game at T-Mobile Park. A little unusual with the Angels making 2 trips there only. The one early in April, and they won't have another until mid-September. They're going to forget all about your favorite things in Seattle. You're not going to be there too much.
Yeah.
Full count on Crawford.
He's had a number of full counts over the last 2 innings. 4 of them, as a matter of fact.
He was at 37 pitches with 2 outs in the third. Rodriguez had that long at bat, and ever since then, the pitch count continues to float for Canning. Now Crawford hits a high fly ball to right field, but Renfroe is right there. And there's 2 away. Crawford was jammed a bit. Bring up Julio Rodriguez. Canning trying to get through at least this inning to get in line for the victory. Rodriguez has struck out a couple of times. See if he gets to the All-Star game. Probably will. All-Star game at T-Mobile Park next month. It'll be in the Mariners' home stadium.
He's going to be hacking at this first pitch is anywhere near the strike zone.
He's off the plate away. Have to feel like that'll be in some ways a big party for Julio Rodriguez if he's on the All-Star team. He'll be front and center at the All-Star festivities representing the hometown Mariners.
He's a dynamic player. Great speed on the bases. Really good in the outfield. Very good throwing arm, and you know the power he has.
Signed that complicated contract toward the end of last season that could balloon all the way to being a 17-year deal. Big commitment to Julio Rodriguez, who checks just about every box you could imagine.
And one of his favorite players watching play is Mike Trout, and he plays that exact same way. Runs out everything in the infield if it's a ground ball. Same kind of energy, enthusiasm for the game.
Just 22 years old. Last year at age 21 and made a big difference. Challenged Trout to be the only 30-30 rookie in Major League history. Mike was able to do that his rookie year, and Julio got close last year. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Rodriguez.
He's thrown him quite a few pitches his last 2 at bats.
Canning won the battle last time, struck him out on a 3-2 changeup. In fact, he has struck him out both times so far today. 2-2 here. And Rodriguez spoils another.
That fastball was supposed to be inside. It drifted out over the plate, but he had him aware of his slider and his changeup, and that's why he was late on it. Might want to try a high fastball here. He's looking secondary pitch.
Just missed. Fastball at the bottom of the zone. It was borderline. And the call goes to Rodriguez.
That's right in the strike zone, lower part of the strike zone, but a perfect pitch.
3-2. Another foul ball. Rodriguez has seen about 18 pitches here himself over his last 2 plate appearances. And Canning starting to see that pitch count get wobbly, up near 90 pitches now. He's not yet through the 5th inning. He has the lead. Another full count on Julio Rodriguez. Ground ball to short. Zach Neto picks it, throws it on the run, retires Rodriguez, and that gets Canning through the 5th. He's got a 7-3 lead on the Mariners.
MLB Big Inning brings you the biggest plays of the night, live as they happen. Don't miss the ultimate baseball highlight reel. It's nonstop action on MLB Big Inning, every night on MLB.tv.
It's like that. Got him, it stays fair. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we give it to you. It's like that.
MLB Tonight has all the bases covered, with live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
MLB Tonight takes you live inside the park.
Every night on MLB Network.
Back at the Big A, good crowds all weekend here at Angels Stadium. The Angels trying to win this series and make it a 5-1 homestand against the Cubs and Seattle. New pitcher for the Mariners is Taylor Saucedo.
Already 16 games. Saucedo. 2 and 4 seam fastball, curveball, slider.
Next time the Angels are home after today, they will be facing the Dodgers here at Angels Stadium. That'll be Tuesday, June 20th, Wednesday, June 21st. It's coming up after the road trip. Ooh, it's into the dugout, to the front of that dugout. Hopefully everybody's okay. Jared Walsh got hit in the back maybe, but it seems like he's fine. Yeah, thumbs up.
He said, yes, I am, Wayne.
Thumbs up is universal. Take it to mean anything you'd like, I guess. But
Trout's going, wow, man. Oh, I got a hit, I got a sac fly. Hey, man, help me out.
Renfroe swings through a changeup as Saucedo strikes him out. One out. Here's Renfroe. He'll bat right-handed against the lefty. Saucedo was born in Hawaii. Debuted with the Blue Jays a couple of years ago.
Tell by his delivery, he hides the baseball pretty well.
Good changeup. Saucedo's father was a Marine. That's why he was born in Hawaii and moved around, lived in Japan as a kid. So Matt Moore lived in Japan as a kid. His dad was in the military too.
It was great to see Matt Moore back-to-back days playing catch in the outfield. That's 60 feet. Watch him look free and easy playing catch, which is important as he progresses.
Well, Hifo punches out on the changeup, so Saucedo has struck out the first 2 that he's faced. 4 straight strikeouts from Mariners pitchers. Brings up Walsh, who hit the ball pretty well his last time. Lined out to right center field, and a ball Rodriguez got to in the gap. At least a positive sign of hard contact from Jared Walsh, something we haven't seen a whole lot of.
And you just want to see him just stay through the baseball, be quick with his hands.
There were 19 hard hit balls in this game today. 14 hit over 100 miles an hour. So a lot of good contact. Most of those from the Angels, as they have the lead here 7-3. Mariners have hit a couple hard too. Teoscar Hernandez has the hardest hit ball of the day with his 112-mile-an-hour home run. Bounce to the right side. Easy play for Caballero. An easy inning for Taylor Saucedo.
Got something to say about the game?
I want to hear that.
Don't just talk about it.
Get caught up so we can talk about it on the show.
Intentional talk about it.
I think this is when opportunity arises.
Join the conversation with Intentional Talk on MLB Network.
We're watching.
It's the Modern Baseball Show for the modern baseball fan. Off Base, with interviews and coverage of baseball's hottest stars.
I've done a couple interviews in my life. This probably is the most fun I've ever been a part of.
Only on MLB Network. Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
It's like that. Got him, it stays fair. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we bring it to you. It's like that.
Ways you could pick off a base runner after Sandoval, that quick step over to first base as a lefty and be able to get that quick out there. The tag applied by Gio Urshela. Then the footwork here today for the right-handed throwing Griffin Canning. It's all about that quick footwork and shorten up the arm delivery and the throw of the first base to be able to pick off Ty France. Sandoval with that quick throw over with the footwork from the righty Griffin Canning. Outstanding 7th career pickoff for Canning. Gold Glove winner 2020. Second only Angel pitcher to do so. Mark Langston with 5 of those Gold Gloves. Hey, Langer, pass one of them over here, please. Just for fun.
Langston has quite a track record with both of these teams, as he spent time with the Mariners early in his career before ending up with the Angels after signing with them as a free agent.
I personally think when you think of Mark Langston with Seattle, I think he should be in the Mariners Hall of Fame. Outstanding career numbers with Seattle.
Well, he really had good numbers with both teams. In his big strikeout years, though, with Seattle, led the American League in strikeouts 3 times, including his rookie year. While Dwight Gooden was the Rookie of the Year in the National League in 1984 and was the young phenom Dr. K. There's Langer and Terry Smith.
Doing that Saturday Night Live skit.
Wow, they posed for us and everything.
Langston led the American League in strikeouts his rookie year, 1984. He was second in the Rookie of the Year voting that year, behind Alvin Davis, who was his teammate with the Mariners. He had a good year too as a rookie. Kirby Puckett finished third. Roger Clemens finished sixth. And a young pitcher with the Royals, Mark, how do you say this?
Gazuba.
Gazuba finished seventh.
Got some long at bats in the last few innings for Canning. Getting that pitch count up now at 95, 96 next pitch. You might see Dubinsky in here before too long.
Dubinsky up in the Angels bullpen. France loops one up the middle, and that's a base hit.
Another hit versus a slider today for Canning with 2 strikes on the batter. Third hit for Ty France.
He's 3 for 3. Canning's thrown 96 pitches, so we'll see the bullpen soon. Looks like Chris Davinsky will be the first man used out of the bullpen today.
Canning coming in this game, 45.5% ground ball rate. There's 3 ground ball outs so far.
Strike to Kelnick. Ball, 1 strike. Some news in the minor leagues for the Angels this weekend. Michael Stefanik's long on base streak came to an end. He reached base in 62 consecutive games, dating back to last season at the minor league level. Kelnick whiffs on a changeup, so the streak ended on Friday.
He's been a real good contact guy. Saw him up the big club here with the Angels. Some pretty good at bats.
Kelnick reaching for that changeup, was able to stay alive. Hernandez on deck. He homered his last time. This might be the last batter for Canning, who has now reached 100 pitches. Bouncing ball to first. Walsh comes in to grab it, fires high to second. Neto gets back on the bag, but not in time.
He's saying he got his foot on the base. I think he got his foot back on the base.
Walsh with a high throw. Neto leaping. And the Angels want a challenge.
Definitely looked like he got his foot back on the base.
Dan Bellino is the crew chief and the second base umpire.
The high throw. He got the corner of the base.
The ruling on the field is that the runner is safe at second base. Los Angeles has challenged, and the previous play is under review.
Yeah, he's definitely out on that one.
Looks like Neto was able to slide his foot up against the edge of the bag before France got in there. So this should be overturned. Sometimes you worry about these calls being overturned when there's even a little bit of ambiguity.
I mean, that foot is right on the corner of the base. I mean, that's got to be quick.
You know, the ambiguity here is that he didn't slap his foot right on the middle of the base. It isn't slap you in the face obvious here, which sometimes is what they need to reverse a call.
Well, I mean, he still got the base. It doesn't matter either way. I mean, this should be fairly quick.
I would agree. But we'll see. Sliding up to the edge of the bag there. Suppose you could make the argument that you're not sure exactly when he touched the bag as he slides up against the edge of it instead of touching the top of it.
The foot is on the base, the side of the base. I mean, it's right on the base. And then the foot's finally getting down to second base from Ty France.
It's taking a moment.
There's only one other game that going on right now. It's in Colorado. It's like the Padres. Well, they got the Giants and Cubs going on also.
I'm telling you, it's because he didn't touch the top of the bag that they're taking this long. And unless it is completely obvious, they sit there in Midtown Manhattan. They go over all the possibilities.
That foot,
he's very clearly out.
That foot is on the corner of the base. Ty France's foot is not on the base.
This is a long replay review. At some point, Neto touched the bag. So the umpires that are watching this on replay have to determine that.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The runner is safe. Los Angeles will lose its challenge.
I told you it has to be completely obvious for the umpires to overturn some of these calls. And that one, even with the slightest bit of ambiguity, allows the call to stand.
He got the corner of the base on that one.
Yeah, absolutely he did. Absolutely. So it'll be an error on Walsh. And a fielder's choice allowing Kelnick to reach. Teoscar Hernandez will be the batter with 2 on, nobody out here in the 6th.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party. See the night's biggest moments. What? The best interviews.
We all love DJ Dan.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network. MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party.
Oh, man.
With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network.
Enrique Quique Hernández. Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, papá.
Dímelo, mi hermano. Mira, te prometí que íbamos a cocinar. Como tú eres de Boston, yo soy de Nueva York, vamos a hacer una competencia.
Yo soy bastante competitivo. No hay nada como la comida latina.
Nada.
Don't take presentation to evaluation, okay? Just flavor. Una cosa que es bien importante para mí es siempre disfrutar ese juego.
Salud, mi hermano. A la vida más fina.
Blew a call with Shohei Otani at the plate. Should have been ball 4, was strike 3 instead. Phil Nevin all over Phil Cuzzy after that as he was ejected from the game. And today, Jared Walsh with a throw that was high, pulled Zach Neto off the bag. He seemed to slide back to the edge of the base. But after replay review, and you can see there Ty France not even close when Neto is sliding up to the edge of the base. Call stood as called. France is safe at second, and here's Teoscar Hernandez facing Davinsky.
Davinsky's been so good in these moments right now. Big moment in this game.
Davinsky has been really otherworldly over his last 10 innings. He's been outstanding at stranding base runners. He's ahead of Hernandez 0-2. It's really a shame that you have this system in place and you still can't get these calls right. It's fouled at home plate. Even the Mariners TV broadcast looked over here between innings and said, what was that?
Yeah, I mean, France's foot was nowhere near the base when Zach Neto touched the corner of the bag.
Neto didn't touch the top of it and didn't make it completely obvious. And whatever the umpires are watching in Midtown Manhattan, they need it to be completely obvious. But anybody could do that at that point, and anybody could watch and see it was something that's completely obvious. You know, they're supposed to be the experts. They're supposed to see every little margin in this game. Then they're supposed to get these calls right. Anybody could sit there and say, well, yeah, he touched the top of the bag. That's obvious. You have to be able to dissect it frame by frame, and that's their job. And they were unable to do that. Check swing. And Hernandez didn't go. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's a play that's, you know, in New York, you see that, you make that call, and it's an out at second base.
Liner to left field, base hit for Hernandez. And all the runners move up. The bases are loaded with nobody out. Another key call goes against the Angels. The Mariners have an opportunity to eat into this lead. It is 7-3. The Angels have led all day. Scored in every inning but one, but it's hardly comfortable now. Cal Raleigh with a lot of power at the plate. He looks at his strikes. Suarez with even more power on deck.
Well, to be able to get a ground ball double play, although Cal Raleigh, we mentioned earlier, doesn't hit the ball on the ground a whole lot. At this point in the game, you're looking for outs and minimize damage.
Levinsky ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. Raleigh has struck out both times today. Levinsky would not mind another strikeout. Raleigh lays off the changeup, and it's 1-2.
Another good changeup by Chris Davinsky.
Griffin Canning faced a lot of long at bats, starting with Julio Rodriguez. 2 out in the 3rd inning. 9 at bats were at least 6 pitches long. 8 of them in the final 2 2/3 innings. Canning in line for the win if the Angels can keep the lead. It's 2-2 on Cal Raleigh. Blooper to left. Taylor Ward coming on. He makes a sliding catch. And the runners don't tag.
What a great read off the bat, too. That ball off the bat, I'm thinking, uh-oh, that's trouble. Especially the way the infield defense was set up. A good read and aggressive route. Taylor Ward to run that one down and keep the runners at their bases. There's no way an infielder is going to be able to come in and make that play. Nice read. Nice play by Taylor Ward.
So 1 out, base is still loaded. Matt Wise out for a quick word. And as Griffin Canning can just root along now. Hoping Davinsky can keep the lead intact. It is 7-3. The tying runs at the plate, and it's Eugenio Suarez. He's hit all kinds of home runs over the last handful of years. Some big home runs, too. Swings through the changeup.
He's rolled into 4 double plays this season.
Swing and a miss again.
2 changeups, 2 strikes. Suarez has struck out twice today. Led the American League in strikeouts last year. He punched out 196 times. He lays off for ball 1.
Good job there by Manny Face to keep that in front.
Now change-up so far in this at bat. 2-2 the count. Dubinsky got 1 big out. Raleigh flied out to a sliding Taylor Ward. And Suarez with a high fly ball, left field. Ward moving back, still going. He's at the warning track, makes the catch. All the runners tag. Throw goes to third as France scores. Suarez gave it a ride. It's a sacrifice fly, and now it's a 7-4 Angels lead. It's an unearned run thanks to throwing error by Jared Walsh and a missed call by the replay officials. Here's Mike Ford, who homered his last time. And fastball gets in there, and it's 0-1 on Ford. The Angels scored in each of the first 4 innings. Now the Mariners have scored in each of the last 3. It's a battle on this Sunday afternoon at Angel Stadium. And that ball hit Ford in the foot. Now the bases are loaded again. Caballero's due up. Here comes the Mariners training staff to take a look at Ford.
Get him in the leg, thigh area. Well, that's going to hurt for a while there, especially when you have that plant leg like that.
Dubinsky's labored a bit here. He's thrown 20 pitches. Some deep counts. He's allowed a hit, a sac fly, and now a hit by pitch. So he's the number 9 batter, Caballero. He singled his first time and lined out to center in the 5th inning. Fastball touches the inside corner, a strike.
Caballero tried to turn into that pitch inside. Gets the inside corner.
He really got the inside third, and that ball was fully over the plate.
I mean, he is great on the plate. I mean, he is great on the plate.
Made off that slider, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Angels will need some outs from their bullpen today. Need a big out here in the 6th inning with the bases loaded. It's in there, a strike. Changeup drops. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Caballero.
Great arm action. First pitch fastball, slider, then changeup.
Caballero lifts a fly ball to left. Taylor Ward moving toward the line, coming quickly. He's there, makes the catch. And the inning is over with the Angels still ahead. Seattle threatened, got 1, could have had more. It's 7-4.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party.
Oh, man.
With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake. That is awesome.
MLB Tonight. Late nights on MLB Network.
MLB Tonight has all the bases covered, with live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
MLB Tonight takes you live inside the park.
Every night on MLB Network.
Again, clutch in a very tough spot. Taylor Ward, by the way, tied a major league record by recording all 3 outs. That one drifted to the warning track. That was one of the runs scored on that sac fly, and then finished it off a little flare into the outfield, covered some ground. So all 3 flyouts to Taylor Ward. All started off with a really good read from Cal Raleigh, but Chris Davinsky doing the job again with that tight top situation.
Zach Neto leads off the bottom of the 6th inning. Trying to bunt. It's right back toward the mound. Saucedo throws high, and Neto safe.
It's fortunate enough because Zach Neto was inside the base path on that one. It was a high throw. You see him going down the line. He was running on that infield grass. Now, that's a judgment call also. The home plate umpire can make that call, even though it didn't hit him. You see where he's running down the line, and in the high throw, he's able to get back into the base path.
It really didn't impact the throw at all, which is what the criteria is for interference to be called there. Saucedo trying to pick him off, but
see if that offense can respond right back. Seattle is not going away in this game.
It's 2 times Neto's reached on an error today. Last time was Crawford. Well, 1 to Taylor Ward, who has homered today. It was a leadoff home run. The Angels have led since that point. Two balls, no strikes on Ward.
Good thing is Zach Neto's got him distracted over there. I don't even see a pickoff throw now.
Saucedo was so upset after he allowed Neto to reach. Now he's kind of making it a personal mission to keep an eye on him, but some big hitters coming up. One at the plate right here, Taylor Ward. And now it's 3-0 with Shohei on deck.
I still get the green light here if it's Taylor Ward in this spot and homered first at bat. You got to believe if he can get a fastball here, he could do some damage here. Even though he's had 3 in a row way out of the strike zone, you got to be thinking driving it.
It's a drop ball at first. Neto almost took off. It's also the second pickoff attempt in this plate appearance, so Saucedo can't throw over again unless he picks Neto off.
A lot of times he can distract some pitchers too with that hop move he has as far as momentum going towards maybe a stolen base.
Ball 4, that one's not close. And Taylor Ward gets on base. 2 on, nobody out. Shohei coming up.
Probably the last batter for Saucedo here is Shohei Otani. The Trout on deck and a right-handed pitcher warming up in the bullpen for Seattle.
Quick meeting on the mound as the Mariners talk it over. We will hear from Hyundai.
It's your journey. Own every mile in the Hyundai Tucson with America's best warranty.
Maybe the Mariners were discussing a way to drive away here in a Hyundai. With Shohei coming up.
And Shohei's thinking about where I could drive a baseball a long way.
2 on, nobody out. Otani's had 2 hits today. Shohei has just been crushing the baseball lately. Home runs in each of the first 2 games in this series. Now has 18 homers, 1 off the American League lead.
There's a sinker through the first pitch. Imagine slider after that.
There it is, and a swing and a miss.
I just try to punch that ball to left field.
The 3 top home run hitters in the American League right now. The names you'd expect: Judge, Otani, and Alvarez. And there's strike 3 to Shohei. That one right in there from Saucedo gets a big out.
Throwing him a fastball there. I think that surprised Shohei. He was anticipating potentially getting another slider after the pitch before was a slider out of the zone.
And Murphy, the right-hander, on his way in to face Mike Trout.
Take control of your health by boosting your force field, the immune system. With the Aura Ring, you can listen to your body's signals and raise your defenses. Aura tells you when your temperature is higher than normal, how to improve your sleep, or if your heart rate shows signs of stress, so you can decide to push yourself or to lie low. Live smarter, stronger, healthier with the Aura Ring.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
Murphy and Trout getting closer and closer to finding his swing again, Gooby.
And when you hear hitters, sometimes they say all you need is that little flare into the outfield to get yourself going. Get jammed on a pitch, that allows you to stay back a little longer. That flare, and then that next at bat just missed. Hitting a grand slam. We got a sac fly, but a perfect swing on that one for Mike Trout. See if he's locked in now. An important at bat here. The Angels try to add on here in the 6th.
Angels trying to add to their lead. Seattle has not gone anywhere today. Angels led 6-0 at one point. Now it's 7-4. Still a few innings to go as Murphy, who was outstanding as a rookie last year and has been good again this year, faces Trout.
That lead that time, Neto just established his secondary lead and stayed there. The first pitch thrown to Trout, he was moving around a lot. Sometimes that could be a distraction for the hitter with a man at second base.
A lot of activity when Neto's on the bases. Trout lays off, and it's 3-0.
Trout will be swinging here, especially after that last swing he had.
It's off the plate, ball 4. 4-pitch walk. Second walk of the inning, and it loads the bases. So Brandon Drury will have a chance as the Angels lead by 3.
The patience is so big here now for Brandon Drury, especially for a pitcher. Murphy throws a lot of sliders, trying to get one middle of the plate and trying to drive it in the air. Something you can hit deep in the air.
Drury hit one deep in the air his first time, doubled off the wall in right center. And then kind of floated over the outside corner as Murphy lands a strike.
If there was that breaking ball, occasional four-seam fastball, it's not overpowering. So you're going to see a lot of breaking balls. Burns is hitting .040 this season versus his sweeper slider.
Drury, it's a looper to short. Crawford with the catch. And a big second out here in the 6th inning. .96 miles an hour off the bat, so Drury stung it a bit, but right at Crawford. Now 2 outs. Here's Theis. 3 runs batted in today for Theis. RBI single in the 1st inning. A 2-run double in the 3rd. There's ball 1. You get the sense that another hit here might just be enough. Knock the Mariners back after they've been pretty relentless here over the last few innings to stay in this game.
Any way you could scratch and claw to get a run home here would be huge.
Just missed for ball 2. Nice, had a big cut at a 2-0 fastball, but he missed.
Exactly what he wanted to do to be able to drive. 13 2/3 of this season now. 10 walks. It can be wild.
Slow bouncer right side. Caballero has it. And that ends the inning. Angels squander a chance. An error and 2 walks, but they leave them loaded.
Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you or someone you love used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait. There may be time deadlines to file a claim.
Call 800-892-7300. That's 800-892-7300.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments. Like the generic form of Viagra, which can cost 90% less than the brand name version. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Start your free visit today at forhims.com.
This Father's Day, June 18th. Treat Dad like an all-star with the ultimate Angel Stadium experience. Enjoy hitting the Angels batting cages. Take a behind-the-scenes stadium tour. Meet Angels alumni and more. Visit angels.com/dadsday to get your tickets today. Dads and their kids at the ballpark here today, a week before Father's Day.
Beautiful day. Big crowd here today.
The crowds all weekend for this series. The Angels trying to win 2 out of 3. It's Jose Soriano, the hard-throwing rookie, appears in his 4th major league game.
One of those high leverage situations coming into this game.
Soriano got some big outs in the 8th inning the other night against the Cubs. As the Angels make a defensive change, Chad Wallach has entered to be the new catcher. Matt Thaiss made the last out in the 6th inning. Ball 1 to J.P. Crawford, top of the order here for Seattle. Biggest crowd of the weekend. As Crawford hits a line drive past Drury into right field. Base hit, leadoff man on. The Mariners just keep coming here today.
There's a breaking ball that stayed upstairs, a hittable pitch, and Crawford didn't miss it. He's had a pretty big series here.
39,405. It's the largest crowd of the weekend. 38,454 yesterday and 36,000 on Friday night. And here's Rodriguez 0 for 3 today. First pitch fastball, strike at 95 from Soriano. Squinting ground ball to second. Drury has it, shovels to second for 1. Neto fires to first. In time, double play.
Well, he got a lot on that throw. They're going to check it. He reared back as if he was pitching on the mound on that throw for Neto to try to turn a double play.
And off the bat, looked like no way.
I mean, he went down the line at 30.1 feet per second. That throw, though, I think he's a closer on that throw.
Very impressive throw by Zach Neto. As you said, Rodriguez storming down the line.
With elite speed going down the line. You always see that. We've mentioned how his favorite player, Mike Trout, the way he plays the game, how hard he went down the line there flying, yet Neto somehow was able to turn a double play on that with that feed from Brandon Drury. Especially with that spin on the base, but you thought no chance it's going to be a double play.
2 outs there, and now nobody on for Ty France. That ball hit him, so France reaches with 2 outs, and now Kelenic will bat. France has been on base 4 times today.
89.4 on that throw, that arm strength for Zach Neto. Not unusual to see France get hit with a pitch just like a Zach Neto.
Only Mark Canha has been hit by more pitches over the last few seasons than France.
Makes 11.
Ball 1 to Kelenic.
What an impressive throw, just going back to that play by Neto. Huge.
It's 2-0. 30 feet per second is elite speed. That's Elly De La Cruz of the Reds, the impressive rookie, got up to 32 feet per second running down the line the other day. All 3. Oscar Hernandez is already homered today and is 3 for 3 on deck. There's a strike from Soriano.
Get over 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
The hardest one he's thrown in the inning. And that one, a breaking ball that slips away, so it's ball 4, a hit by pitch and a walk with 2 outs. That brings the tying run to the plate.
Surprised you go with a breaking ball there on the 3-1 count. You just throw a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, though.
Now Wise will try to coach Soriano through this next at bat as we hear from Jack in the Box.
My Ribeye Steakhouse burgers are made with 100% ribeye beef. Think of them as the CEO of burgers.
Another big moment. Been a lot of them today. The Angels had a 6-0 lead after 3. That lead has shrunk in half. Now 7-4 here in the 7th inning. And the Mariners bring up the tying run. It's Teoscar Hernandez, who is 3 for 3 with a 2-run homer. Soriano has thrown 13 pitches, 8 have missed the strike zone. And now 9 out of 14. He's behind Hernandez 2-0. Now Raleigh is on deck. Nobody's up in the Angels bullpen. It's likely going to change here soon. It's in there and it's 2-1. Angels need to find some outs to get this ball in the hands of Estevez at the end. It breaks over the plate and it's 2-2.
It's a tough spot right there for that one, though. See how quick youngster can make it an adjustment on this next pitch.
2-2 to Teoscar Hernandez. And it's in there. Strike 3 called. Went back to the curve. Broke it over the plate.
That was a great adjustment on that curveball from the pitch before. What a job by the youngster Soriano. Big time curveball. Punch out. Still up by 3.
Every hero has an origin story. The MLB Draft Combine, an exclusive look at the game's next prodigies, phenoms, and future heroes, leading up to the MLB Player Draft. Live coverage only on MLB Network.
It's like that.
Got him, it stays fair.
See it.
He struck him out. It's out of here.
Feel it.
I can't wait for this game to start. He took a home run away.
Live it.
That is as good as it gets.
The big plays.
The beauty of sports is when the hero comes through.
Yeah, the tense moments.
We have an update we must show you.
With live look-ins, highlights, and breakdowns.
That might be what it takes to win.
MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the...
Presented by Alexis is at the Big A on July 1st. Runners will receive a shirt, medal, and 2 ticket vouchers. Register now at angels.com/5K. A fun run.
Running is fun.
Yeah.
It's like a Sunday is a fun day.
Sunday fun day. Angels would have a lot more fun if they can get on their bird to Dallas, Texas with a victory here and make it a winning series. 5-1 homestand. And 4 big games with the Texas Rangers. There's a chance right there to gain ground in the division. The team that's been leading the way most of the year in the AL West. The Angels will be in Arlington, Texas tomorrow. Tyler Anderson will face Dane Dunning tomorrow night. Jaime Barria Tuesday, Detmers Wednesday, and then back to Shohei for the finale Thursday.
Tyler Anderson, a career 2.64 ERA versus Texas, 1-0 mark.
Shohei will match up with Nathan Eovaldi on Thursday night. So, some big games there. 4-game set against the first place Rangers.
Showing a last game against Luis Castillo, so he's been locked up against some aces as the ace of the staff. Usually when that happens early on, because of usually a normal 5-man rotation, you face the aces of the other team early on, and then eventually that changes quite a bit, but not for Shohei.
Gone the opposite way for Shohei most of the time lately. There's all the pitching matchups for Thursday. Angels will see John Gray, who's been pitching well on Tuesday night.
Andrew Heaney.
Heaney's been the one Rangers starter that hasn't been so great. Everybody else has been pretty good in that Texas rotation. Renfroe strikes out on a slider. And the Rangers starting pitchers lead the major leagues in innings per start.
And coming into the season, especially with Jacob deGrom, was supposed to be a big part of that rotation. Really hasn't pitched a whole lot now. Won't be pitching for a while for them. But the rest of the rotation has been great.
Well, Scott Service is headed to the mound, but so is the trainer.
Went on that delivery on that last pitch. That slider was way off the outside corner. Doesn't look comfortable at all.
A walk off the mound with the trainer here, so that's not great news for the Mariners, one of their better relievers, as Murphy leaves this game. Didn't look comfortable, whatever happened, and Murphy heads to the trainer's room inside the clubhouse. Now Seattle will have some time to get a reliever ready. I don't think anybody was up in the bullpen, so you have to find somebody to pitch here, and it looks like Chris Flexen is doing just that as he gets ready to come into this game.
As much time as you want and need. It's always difficult though when you come out and warm up on the game mound, because you just feel that the fans saying let's go, let's go. Sometimes you say you're ready before you actually are be able to use all your pitches.
Some managers think that a pitcher should be allowed to just warm up in the bullpen until he's ready to come to the game mound, but this is that strange scenario where the pitcher comes in and then gets warmed up. So that's what will happen. Flexen will face Rengifo here in a few moments.
Law. Art. Construction. Baseball.
How'd you guess?
With the help of Major League Baseball, the Boys and Girls Clubs of America help kids make it to the big leagues of anything.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
For our Arco top-tier plays, Taylor Ward leadoff home run in the bottom of the first. Zach Neto with a blast in the bottom of the second.
Big game for Matty Vice, too, in this with 3 RBIs, a couple big hits. Renfroe showing some dad power, doubles to left center field. The thing when you look at those first 2 home runs, where those pitches were, how they were able to bring their hands up and drive them out of the ballpark is impressive for Ward and Neto.
The Angels have had the lead since that Taylor Ward leadoff home run. They were up 6-0 at one point. 7-4 now. Still 6 outs left to get to steer this one in the garage and send the Angels off to Texas with a victory today, a winning series, 6 out of 7 overall. Phil Nevin has a moment to breathe as he chats with Mike Trout while Chris Flexen gets warmed up.
One thing to keep in mind, Wayne, it's a long delay in between innings here for Jose Soriano on that one. He had a nice inning there, finish off there with that good curveball, but that's a long time in between innings.
And nobody up in the Angels bullpen, so it looks like Soriano might be asked to pitch the 8th inning, or at least some of it, until the Angels feel comfortable enough to bring in Estevez. And meanwhile, Flexen was in the rotation for Seattle at the beginning of the year, and he pitched poorly. So he was demoted to the bullpen and really into this kind of long man role. Only being used here because the Mariners, who were expecting to use Penn Murphy in this inning, unable to use him anymore after he left with an apparent injury. Luis Rengifo will be the first batter against Chris Flexen. There's Soriano staying loose during this longer delay.
Yeah, you just hope that Murphy's okay. He just came back from some elbow tendonitis and soreness there, and he walked off the mound after a number of really good sliders he threw.
If you missed the news earlier, good news for Ben Joyce, no ligament damage. So he's just going to wait it out as Rengifo. It's a one-hopper to second. The Angels were nervous, certainly, and so was Ben Joyce about what that MRI would reveal. But just a nerve issue, no ligament damage, and he could start throwing again pretty soon. 2 out, nobody on as Jared Walsh bats. He's 0 for 3, lined out to right center field earlier. Some swing and misses from Walsh.
Flexen has a really good changeup. His fastball will not overpower. He's going to be 90-95, but he's got a good curveball slider and an excellent changeup. Uses that quite a bit to left-handed batters, too.
Walsh pops it up. Crawford has it, and it's the end of the 7th as the Angels lead by 3 into the top of the 8th.
Enrique Quique Hernández.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, papá. Dímelo, mi hermano. Mira, te prometí que íbamos a cocinar. Como tú eres de Boston, yo soy de la de Nueva York, vamos a hacer una competencia.
Yo soy bastante competitivo. No hay nada como la comida latina.
Nada.
Don't take presentation to evaluation, okay? Just flavor. Una cosa que es bien importante para mí es siempre disfrutar ese juego.
Salud, mi hermano. A la vida más fina.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
Hall of Famer Lee Arthur Smith setting a major league record with a save in his 16th straight appearance. He would go on to be 19 for 19 in save tries. That is still an Angels record to begin the season. It's a record that Carlos Estevez is threatening to go after. Estevez has gone 17 out of 17. He could be available to pitch for a save today. Guess we'll find out. He's not doing much right now, wearing a hoodie down there in the bullpen.
He has been great.
Curveball starting to land for Soriano. He's ahead of Cal Raleigh. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
See, it is so awful for batters, especially with 2 strikes, to call that timeout. Think what their pitcher's going to try to throw to them the next time back in the batter's box.
Bottom part of the order here, but all guys with power. Raleigh and Suarez and Ford. 2 up in the top of the 8th inning. Raleigh had a cut at that curveball and fouled it off. Cal Raleigh at the most home runs ever by a Mariners catcher last year. Still has the most home runs by any catcher in the majors since the beginning of last year, tied with Salvador Perez of the Royals. Swing and a miss.
Well, he makes a quick adjustment. That's curveball the pitch before was flat, and Cal Raleigh was on it, fouled it back, and then he made that quick adjustment. It's like last inning against Hernandez. This is a real good curveball, good depth to it. Swing over top. 3 strikeouts in the game for Cal Raleigh today.
Suarez with a liner, right center. Trout is right there, moving over, makes the catch.
Talked about Trout's defense earlier today, and it's some really good plays in this homestand.
Line to first, caught by Jared Walsh. Jose Soriano gives the Angels 2 scoreless innings against a division rival late in the game.
It's like that. Got him, it stays fair.
baseball.
There's something that's been missing in the debate.
Think analysis.
Now he goes into his contract year. What do you do with this guy?
Think advanced metrics.
The new rules are having an impact, and I'll bottom line it.
Think MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan, only on MLB Network.
White Sox, first 25,000 fans will receive a Shohei Otani puzzle courtesy of Yakult Probiotic Drink. Visit angels.com/promotions for details. Jose Soriano really giving the Angels a great lift. 6 outs against the Mariners in a 3-run game.
And the quick adjustments he made on a couple of his curveballs during that 2-inning great stint. It's a good hack by Zach Neto, who homered first to bat.
One ball, one strike on Zach Neto, who's leading off here in the bottom of the 8th. Neto with a home run. He's reached on 2 errors. He has scored 2 runs today. Home run 421 feet and no doubter from Neto back in the second. His 4th big league home run. And there's another. Zach Neto with a drive to left. He's hit his 2nd home run today.
Well, they were saying and playing when he hit that foul ball, take me home, country road. Another long home run for Neto. 2 home run, first time in his major league career. 2 home runs in a game, multi-homer game. Zach Neto, what an afternoon. Got out quickly now. 5 home runs on the season for Neto.
Ludo times 2. His 5th home run. He's hit 2 in this game. He's had a great homestand. He has power if you've seen him play at all in the minor leagues, although he didn't get much chance to see him in the minor leagues. In college ball, he can hit the ball out of the ballpark.
It's a huge add-on run. You love that, especially the way Seattle has battled all afternoon.
Now it's a 4-run lead. They still like to use their closers in 4-run games. Top of the order here, and still a chance for more. Jimmy Herget, who was just recalled from AAA today, also throwing in the bullpen alongside Estevez.
Got that foot down. That's twice. Now everyone's wondering, he's so good with 2 strikes. He shortens up that leg kick, but this is where he gets all the power. Both home runs today. He's got that foot down and he lifts that baseball out. For 2 home runs this afternoon.
And here's Shohei.
Good game here for Taylor Ward's on base twice with walks, hit by pitch, and his home run.
Otani with 2 hits in this one. He has brutalized Seattle pitching already this year. Hard in the right field. 3rd hit today for Shohei. Taylor Ward goes to second.
A good job of bringing your hands up and crushing that baseball in the right field for Shohei and an Angels hitter. Trying to elevate with whether it's a cutter or a 4-seam fastball, but the approach has been really, really good.
Raleigh to the mound to talk to Flexen, who's on a home run, a walk, and a base hit to start this inning. The Angels' lead is up to 4. Mike Trout, the batter. About somebody who has brutalized Mariners pitching over the years. Nobody's really done it the way Mike Trout has historically. The Seattle franchise has been around since 1977, and nobody has hit more home runs than Mike Trout against the Mariners.
Just underneath that one, but he's starting to get his timing together. Another big game for Shohei. 3 more hits today.
Trout with a bouncer to short. Crawford gets it to second, and the Mariners turn a double play. Ward goes to 3rd. This run could be the difference between Estevez coming in and not. Jimmy Herget is also up in the Angels bullpen. The Angels don't have an off day until a week from tomorrow. A 4-game series coming up against the Texas Rangers, so wouldn't be the worst thing for the Angels to not have to use Estevez today. Looks like they will if it stays 8-4, but if they can make it 9-4.
Yeah. I agree if they get this other run across here. 11 hits in this game for the Angels, 8 runs.
Drury with a flare to right, that gets down, a base hit. Taylor Ward scores. Carlos Estevez has a seat in the bullpen, and the Angels are up by 5.
As soon as that baseball found that outfield grass, he started walking to his little spot again. Those add-on runs started with Zach Neto, then an RBI base hit for Brandon Drury. Couple hits, double in his first at bat, and an RBI single here.
Chad Wallach pops one foul and out of play. Stay tuned after the game. Angels Live, presented by OC Navigator, as the Angels try to make this a 5-1 homestand. Looking to win this series 2 out of 3 against Seattle. The Mariners have stuck around today. Chad Wallach has a base hit.
That's 3 hits from the catching position here today for the Angels. It's been an ongoing theme throughout this year as far as power numbers too from the catching position.
Nice 3 RBIs.
It's that balanced offense. Also giving an opportunity for some of the players to get that full day off, and Anthony Rendon, maybe Machio or Urshela today.
Throw with a foul ball right in the booth. Well, right off the front.
Going back to our Hyundai key for the game today is one, getting out of the way of that foul ball is something to believe in. The approach has been outstanding. They've been real good as far as bringing their hands up on some of those elevated pitches. 3 home runs in the game. Some solid approaches all game long.
John Sterling can
handle a foul ball in the booth, you can too. There's another one up this way. It's going to fall a little bit short. To Renfroe with 2 on and 2 out. See Aaron Goldsmith over there still pretending like he was going to try to catch it.
Always a good idea to get out of the way of that one.
Renfroe has an RBI double today. The Angels have 9 runs on 13 hits. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Hunter Renfroe.
Chance they hold on to this lead, be 4-2 against Seattle so far this season. Impressive. The team you know it's going to make some noise at some point during the year. Chance to pick up a game on the Astros and the Rangers today.
The Yankees just about to start against the Red Sox tonight. Renfroe with a ground ball to short. Angels very much in the wild card picture too. And a couple of insurance runs score in the bottom of the 8th. Zach Neto's had his first career multi-home run game. Punched down a long home run in the 2nd. Hits another one out here in the 8th. And the Angels have a 5-run cushion.
Jeremy Peña, the world champion shortstop with movie star presencia.
Every Dominican wants to grow up and play baseball, bro.
When I was 13, I was like, the plan is to get to the big leagues.
I love seeing young Dominicans win, bro, because I'm an old Dominican.
Ya tú sabes que el dominicano que juega, todo el mundo juega pelota.
Claro.
I was just looking forward to playing again, man. This is going to be a fun year.
Salud. A la vida más linda.
Salud, hermano.
Got something to say about the game?
I want to hear that.
Don't just talk about it.
Get caught up so we can talk about it on the show.
Intentional talk about it.
I think this is when opportunity arises.
Join the conversation with Intentional Talk on MLB Network.
We're watching. We're watching.
It's the modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan. Off Base, with interviews and coverage of baseball's hottest stars.
I've done a couple interviews in my life. This probably is the most fun I've ever been a part of.
Only on MLB Network.
Wake up to baseball's biggest stories.
Robert Flores wearing tweed.
Wake up to big-name guests.
Very special guests hanging out on the crushed red velvet.
This show is tough to get ready for.
And wake up to a whole lot of fun.
Wearing a robe holding a wooden phone.
MLB Central.
It is absolutely hilarious.
The show baseball fans
and baseball players
wake up to.
Show's starting to pick up.
I love the energy. I love the unexpected performances.
Weekday mornings on MLB Network.
We'll have a little fun and we'll laugh.
Scott's MLB All-Star Ballot. Vote daily at MLB.com/vote to send your favorite players to the Emerald City. Mariners are headed right back there after this one is over. Jimmy Herget back in the big leagues. Will try to get the last 3 outs. First game at the major league level in a few weeks for Herget. He'd been at AAA Salt Lake. He's been optioned a couple of times, but trying to show that he can stay at this level as he did last year. I'm sure Herget is just as bewildered as anybody that the season has turned out the way that it has so far after the impressive work he did last year.
And it's not quite the same spin on his slider and or curveball. It could be an easy, quick adjustment as far as where your fingers are on top of the baseball to be able to create that spin again.
Jose Caballero leads off the top of the 9th inning. Herget's main job here is to keep Estevez uninvolved. If it gets close again, Estevez will come in. It could affect some of his availability for the upcoming series against the first place Texas Rangers. That series starts tomorrow night.
It's going to be a fun series down there in Texas. The first time down in Arlington. 4-game set. Rangers have visited here before. First things first against Seattle here to be able to have a chance to be up 4-2 in their series.
That'll be my first time in that ballpark. Only active big league stadium I haven't seen.
It's a little bit ways up there, our booth and our vantage point.
I'll bring a telescope.
Yeah, you might need that.
High pop up. Trout comes in. And there's one away in the top of the 9th. All the games in the series between the Angels and Rangers will start at 7:05 Central Time, 5:05 here in California. Tyler Anderson tomorrow against Dane Dunning. And a chance for the Angels to gain at least a couple games. You go there and win a series. One game at a time for Phil Nevin's team as they try to get to 5 games above 500 again, tying their high water mark for the year. Ball 1 strike on Crawford. Like what J.P. Hornstra wrote in the Orange County Register today about Phil Nevin arguing with Phil Cuzzy last night. He said Phil Nevin's temples swelled like a hot air balloon.
Yeah, it did slightly. Tell you what, but Shohei Otani wasn't real happy about that call.
No.
3rd strike himself. That was a battle he had in that at bat.
That's what Phil Nevin said. You know, it's sometimes on the inside outside corners it's hard for the bench to tell what's a strike and what's not. But when you see Shohei react the way that he did, he almost never has anything to say to an umpire. And that's how Phil Nevin knew that the call was wrong. The Angels a loss last night. Could be the only one of this homestand though if they finish it up here. There's ball 4 to Crawford. So Herget. The Angels just need some strikes from here. She is a 1-out walk.
You just want to keep Estevez fresh for that first game tomorrow night. So ground ball double play ended up to be perfect for Jimmy Herget here.
Julio Rodriguez, the batter. 0 for 4 today, 2 strikeouts and a double play ball. As Herget touches the outside corner. Angels led 6-0 after 3. Seattle kept around, tightened it up. Ground ball back to the mound. Herget throws to second for 1. Over to first, 2. A double play. Say goodnight to the Mariners. The Angels win another series at home. After sweeping the Cubs, they take 2 out of 3 from Seattle. It's a 5-1 homestand for the Halos after a 9-4 win today.
Yeah, no many opportunities to be able to turn double plays against Julio Rodriguez. Twice though, Jimmy Herget gets that ground ball double play. It's exactly what you need to be able to finish this one off. What a homestand for the Angels, going 5-1, win a series here against Seattle again. The offense from the get-go started with Taylor Ward, but Zach Neto, outstanding. 2 home runs, on base on 2 errors, 3 runs scored. Getting that foot down, the leg kick creating the power, and high fastball against Logan Gilbert. Going what, 424, and then getting that foot down again, and this time drives it out. Some more distance again. That's 384 for Neto. Magnificent today.
Big day for the rookie shortstop. Just the second Angels rookie shortstop to ever have a multi-home run game as he cracks 2 in this one. The Angels have 9 runs on 13 hits. Draw 9-4 win today against the Seattle Mariners. Zach Neto is our Toyota player of the game. He's standing by right now with Erica Weston.
Wayne, thanks very much. Zach, your first career multi-home run game. You've won games with your glove. Today you do it with a bat. How much were you waiting for a game like this at the plate?
I mean, I've been working for this for a long time. You know, everything I do in the morning when I get here till when I step in the box in the afternoon, you know, everything happens for a reason. And today I had a really good day in the box, and you know, I'm just going to try to keep it going.
You had some key defensive plays, the double play in the 7th inning, Rodriguez with elite speed down first base. How do you slow those moments down and make them look so seamless?
Yeah, you know, you just got to make sure you get one. You know, having a fast runner like that, you just got to make sure you get the lead guy. And, you know, I was able to use my arm strength to get him out at first to turn it.
Great homestand by you guys, nearly perfect, 5-1. You guys are hot right now, heading into a series against Texas, which has been the best team in your division. How much of the momentum did you guys need to be able to go on this road trip?
Oh, you know, this weekend was big. You know, be able to keep this momentum going into Texas and going into Kansas City. You know, it's going to be good. So just trying to keep going in there. You know, having the guys in the locker room just moving in the right direction and just keep winning baseball games.
Well done. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys.
Zach Neto, it's a couple of home runs today, and the Angels score a 9-4 win. Now go beats on to Texas.
Yeah, I tell you, the 2 home runs are great, but I love that double play he turned against Shohei Rodriguez. He got a lot on that throw, but the offense and the balance again, 13 hits, 9 runs scored, 3 home runs. Halos are hot right now.
For Mark Rubens and Erica Weston, our entire crew, I'm Wayne Randazzo. We say so long from the Big A. The Angels win a series against the Mariners, 9-4 the final. Angels Live postgame is next.